Why aren't you listening to me? Doesn't anybody ever listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Listen to me? Blame yourselves for this fucking word salad that I just spit all over the goddamn plate. This is all your fault. You and I like me. That's it. I work under the cover of darkness because I don't need the rest of society to look in my eyes and know that is a bad person. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Fuck, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday record, folks. I hate it. I hate it. Why am I here on a Tuesday? Downstairs again, the same parking hoops I got to jump through. Luckily, I was able to grab one pretty quick. And then I'm up here now. I'm talking to our friend Lily, who's got a fucked up knee. And I will tell you this, it's freezing here. It is so cold. By the way, how great is my voice right now? Oh, my God. Holy shit, I want to stop and fuck myself. God damn it, I sound great. Because I'll do that. It's like sometimes when I just wake up and I'll start talking, I'm like, I don't want to talk. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it till there's another person. Which, by the way, that's weird when I stand up and I start talking when there's nobody there. Good morning, Mike. Hey, why don't you get out of bed now? Hey, you sound fantastic. Hold on, save it. Save it for a person. Don't talk just to yourself. But I do. But that's what I'm doing now. Essentially, I'm talking just to myself, and you guys are going to tune in later. Thursday, actually. So you've got 2 days. You'll have. Oh my God, how good is my voice going to sound in 2 days? It's going to have 2 days to marinate in the fucking computer. It's going to sit there. It's like steeping in a vinaigrette in a vinaigrette of my brilliance. Oh my God, that's a lot of R's. A vinaigrette of my brilliance. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I sound good. And it's so funny because now I just want to hear myself talk. Like I don't even want to say anything that makes any sense. But then why is that any different from any other week that I do the goddamn show? I just talk and roll right the fuck downhill. So here it is Tuesday, folks. And downstairs I did the parking game. I got up here and it's freezing in Los Angeles. I should tell you that. It's really, really cold. Did I tell the saga of my heater at my house?
No.
We have never turned the heater on in 15 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, in 15 years, let's see, it's 14 years. We've been here since 97. So we never lit the pilot light because I'm a tough guy. I'm a grown man. I'm from Chicago. I'm a grown-ass man, damn it. From Chicago. I don't need any heat. Step off. I got to stop saying step off. Look at that. 2 weeks in a row, I've brought step off to the forefront. And so early in the show. Who am I telling to step off so early in the show? I haven't even gotten time to get mad. Why am I mad right off the fucking bat? So the heater is in play this year because it is so goddamn cold. And for years now, as we know, I work in Graveyardville, which is a horrible place. I'm inside. All right, I'm inside an office, inside of a hotel lobby, but I have the doors open to the parking garage, which is open air. So because I have to guard the cars and I have to keep an eye out and an ear out to hear whether someone's in there sneaking about and stealing snow brushes, whatever people have in their car. I have a snow brush in my car. And this is weird. All right, I'll tell you this. All right, remember what we were talking about. Hold on. Remember, it's your job. That's our friend Lily Von Stuff.
We're talking about Carrot Top.
No, stop that. So remember that. We were talking. I was talking about being cold in the heater at my house. So remember that. But at my work, it's freezing. It's cold, and it's been cold for a few weeks. So I actually have a snow brush in my car, and I have jumper cables in my car. And I think I've talked about that on here before, where I have them for no reason. Like I just. Nobody needs jumper cables in California. It's like they've just been there since I was in. And it's just a grown-up thing to do for me. Like 1 year for Christmas, this is, dude, let's talk about horrible Christmas gifts. 1 year for Christmas, my mom gave me, and I should tell you this, it wasn't the only thing my mom gave me. My mom gave me great stuff too. All right, because my mom, like my mom, you'll open a bunch of stuff because my mom is addicted to QVC. So when you get like all the gifts, you're opening it up and it's like some tote bag from Joan Rivers and some bullshit and like some cologne that I wouldn't pour on a fire to put it out. I mean, seriously, but that's my mom because if my mom just I always say to her, I go, Mom. And this is a bit right from my act. I used to say, Mom, just give me a Best Buy gift card. That's all I want. If you give me a gift card from Best Buy, I'll be fine. But my mom would go to Best Buy to get the gift card, and then she would get distracted. And it became a bit in my act because it's legitimately true. My mom walked into Best Buy to get me, a gift card, but my mom doesn't like just giving you gift cards because you feel there's no thought behind it. So my mom's like, oh, well, Mike likes video games, and instead of getting him one video game for $60, why don't I get him 10 of those $6 video games I saw in the bin by the door? So, like, literally, one Christmas I'm sitting there and I just got a stack of tiles and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And it's not going to be good because I have Sega. I don't need those. And I had an old Nintendo, but I open it up and I'm like, ooh, Frogger, Mom. This is like 1999. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Frogger, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't even know. Oh, and it's for ColecoVision. Thanks, Mom. That's great. I don't even know if we have it. You know what? I checked that. I do. It's holding up a wobbly table in the den. So I'll go ahead and grab that and see if it works. Because my mom is she wants to give you things. So my mom, and it's funny because Karen's mom is the exact same way, where they just start firing off gifts off QVC because they can sit at a phone and do all their Christmas shopping, but not realizing that, yes, it's easy and convenient for them, but then unfortunately the person on the receiving end is just, oh, I got a rock. Like, I mean, it's just, you're Charlie Brown on Halloween, just staring in your fucking bag. And quite frankly, I would rather get a rock. I mean, than a fucking Swiss Army knife that my mom thinks I can use on the road. Really, Mom? Because she would do that. I'd be on the road. She's like, I figure you could use that when you're on a trip. Yes, I could use a Swiss Army knife. Mom, they give me a hotel when I go on the road, right? I don't have to set up a tent. I'm not whittling spikes to make a punji trap to get a deer so I can eat on the road. You're aware of that, right, Mom? Holy shit. Nobody needs a Swiss Army knife. You know what? The Swiss Army doesn't even need Swiss Army knives anymore. They're so done with it that it's now a tchotchke. It's a keychain hanger. The Swiss Army is like, what the fuck? Why do we have all this? A toothpick? This is bullshit. Let's throw them on eBay. And then my mom bought all of them. Jesus Christ. So that made me laugh. The Swiss Army doesn't even need Swiss Army knives. All right. So who cares? Why am I gloating? I shouldn't gloat. Everybody tells me not to gloat. All right, but I have to gloat. Why not? Look, folks, this is my football game. All right, I'm in the NFL of podcasting, and that was me fucking scoring a touchdown. And when I gloat, it's me spiking and doing a crazy dance in the end zone. You want me to do that, right? Don't you want me to pull out a Sharpie and sign that joke for you and hand it to you in the stands? Of course you do. God damn it! I'm going to be T.O. on my own show. This is the T.O. show, don't you know? So if I got to bust out a Sharpie and sign that joke and hand it to you in the stands, take it and run with it. Take these bananas and run with them. Gay Damon Wayans. All right. So my mom gives me great stuff too. Like, I mean, she'll give me, you'll be opening that slog of gifts. So all right, to get back to the jumper cables, my mom gave me once like a road survival kit. It was just like a box and I opened it up and it was like an ice scraper and like extra gloves and, the weirdest thing, I don't know where my mom found these, for fucking QVC probably. The whole thing might have been from QVC now that I think about it, because it was in one box. It wasn't like she just assembled a box. And then she bought those things that you snap that warm your hands and you hold them. And I wanted to say, Mom, I'm not playing in the woods. I mean, it just makes zero sense. She's like, well, in case you wind up wrecking your car or whatever. Mom, if I wreck my car, I'm not going to, what am I going to wrap myself in a rain poncho and die? That's not going to fucking happen. I'll hang myself with these jumper cables because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. But sure enough, it was just like all this shit where it's like, like a flashlight, a little baby one, and then, it's stuff stuff no one ever wants, ever. That honestly, I would rather not survive than use those things. That's a survival kit that I would rather not survive than use. But then at the end of it, she gives you a fucking a card with $500 in it. You know what I mean? So it's like that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you get all of that nonsense, and I have to pay. And let's be honest, the $500 is devalued because I got to pay $100 to a truck to take all this other shit away. I'm gonna pay someone to come in and clean up the living room and get rid of haul off this crap that nobody wants. Because my mom just thinks you need to open stuff. And I've always had that philosophy too, man. On Christmas, someone needs to open stuff. Even if you're fucking poor, even if you got nothing, you got to get one thing to open. Someone needs one thing to open. That's why, dude, if I'm rich, when I'm rich, oh my God, it's going to be horrible, like at Christmas for me, because I will just go to kids and give them free things. Like I will just go and say, look, there's charities and everybody wants to help people and all that kind of stuff. Dude, kids need Christmas. They just need Christmas. They just do. I don't care if they're Jewish or Armenian or whoever doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Fucking Klampus or whatever the fuck he is, or Father Christmas. All you motherfuckers. Krampus, what's his name? Yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever you believe in, you got to open something. Whether if it's a survival kit for the road or a Swiss Army knife, you got to open it just for the thrill of tearing the paper open, right? Holy shit. So my mom gave me a survival kit, and all that shit is still in my car. Like, and it's the thing is, she gave it to me, I'm not lying, 12 years ago, and it's just gone from car to car to car because you throw it in the trunk. And then when I buy a new car, I clean out the trunk and all that goes in the other trunk. And it's consistently gone to every car until now it's made the trip to California and gone to 3 different cars. So in the back, I have a giant rain poncho, and I have this hand warmer snapper things. I have this tiny little baby flashlight that's ridiculous. And then I have jumper cables and a snow brush. All of it is in the back of the Murano. So I don't need that shit. It's ridiculous. So I'm sitting in my work and I'm freezing my balls off, and in my head I'm like, maybe I can go get one of those hand warmers. Should I go do that? But I mean, it's so fucking cold. So a few weeks ago, there's a woman, I've talked about her before. She's flighty and she lives in my building. She's really nice. Like, she's given me gifts. She gave me a pair of shoes. She's a personal assistant to a famous person. So that person gives her things that he can't use. So to two famous people who happen to be a couple. So she'll come down and visit me. But I like her. She's nice. But Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine her working for me, let alone sitting there. Because when we talk, she's just a lost soul sometimes. You know what I mean? And she's my age. And because I called her kiddo, and she was just like, "Oh, kiddo, I'm your age." And we wound up talking about then because she finds out she's my age. She's one of those people who just became inappropriately close to me, like really quickly. Yes. Like we were just talking one night, and then all of a sudden she's like, "You remind me of my brother. You're a lot like my brother. Here's all this cool stuff I'm going to give you." I'm like, "Whoa, hold on." Certainly it makes up for all the garbage my mom gave me for Christmas all those many years ago. I mean, I got fancy shoes and all this other cool stuff, but still, and she'll come down like with food for me in the middle of the night. Like she made me a BLT at like 3 a.m. once, like with sliced mango, and I talked about this on here. I think she's real nice. But at the same time, then she thinks she can do shit, and now she can get away with it. Like, and I'm going to let her do it because she's been nice to me. Like, she'll bring a dog in at like 4 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing with the fucking dogs? Aren't allowed in this building. But I don't give a shit. What am I going to do? Tackle her? Kill the dog? You can't do that. I'm not a Nazi. All right, so. But I'll just give her like the cocked eyebrow, like, you're not supposed to be bringing a fucking dog in here, right? She's like, "Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry. You're like my brother. Did I mention that? Here's a sandwich." She throws the BLT. I run and chase. I actually outrun the dog to it. The dog goes upstairs in the elevator. But she's, she'll bring me food, and sometimes I can't eat it because I'm trying not to eat BLTs at 3 a.m. But I have to say yes. Oh my gosh, thanks. But here's the weirdest thing. All right, look, you bring me food and you wrap it up in saran wrap and it's on a plate. Awesome. But then she brings me a beverage, like in a glass with no lid on it, just like a glass of like orange juice in it. I mean, dude, I have a cooler. You see it, right? My friends bust my balls about it all the time. I have a cooler. I should tell you this right now. I bought like a little a cooler that fits like fucking 10 propels in it, or 8 propels, and I carry it with me everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I take it to poker and I walk in. It looks like Ralph Cramden just showed up to play a fucking game of poker. And don't think that a room full of comedians has not busted my balls to the nth fucking degree every time I walk in. You walk in and fucking Pat and Gilmartin and Pardo, everybody, all of them. It's like, "Oh, well, you want to punch in? What are you doing?" I just savaged me. And it's never unfunny. So, I say that sarcastically, but I'm being completely honest, because it's like you walk into a room full of comics doing something like that, you're asking for it. You're asking to get your balls fucking busted. And it is always funny because fucking Pat always has a different thing to say, and Gilmartin always has a different thing to say. Everybody, they don't just beat the same thing into the fucking ground. There's always an elegant turn of phrase that makes me look stupid, and I appreciate it. So. But to bring me a beverage with no lid on it, because look, I understand she made the food with her hands and stuff, but if it's wrapped up, it still seems like it's hermetically sealed, and I know it got from farm to table somehow. But she had to cook it, and then she put it on but then she covered it. It was fine. But the beverage has no lid on it. Like, anything could have happened to it. She could have spit in it. It could have, dust could have fallen into it. There could be a roofie in it. I don't know what the fuck's in there. So I literally, the second the elevator door closes, I take the beverage and I just throw it out into the parking garage, like all over the ground. I'm not going to drink a beverage that some fucking second floor resident brought me. It could be a trap. Look, she knows when I'm awake, she tries to do crazy shit. Now she's trying to put me under. What the fuck is she going to smuggle in when I'm under? She's going to roofie me and bring an elephant in the goddamn building. It's like, I already saw the dog, and she's like giving me the fucking stink eye, and I'm like, "Hey, you can't bring a dog. You know that, right?" Well, now she's going to drug me and bring in a whole fucking pack. God damn it. They're going to fleece me. I'm going to wake up with no shirt on. Awful. Can't do that. So, fucking, sure enough, I'm in the building. It's cold. This is a couple of weeks ago, actually. I meant to tell you this over the weeks, but real life interfered. I don't know what the fuck happened. I started talking about Lester Hayes and everything went awry. And then I went to Milwaukee. This is like 3 weeks ago. And it's been cold. It wasn't as cold then. It's freezing now. Now it's like 34 degrees. That's not even a joke. Like, last night I was fucking miserable. Because a lot of times, I wear a fucking sweatshirt and a coat, and I got a fucking huge space heater blasting me in the face, and I can stay warm, and it's fine. You can jog it off or whatever. But last night, man, I sat there, and I just, it's those moments where you go, what the fuck happened to my life? What the fuck happened to my life? Every Saturday when I'm there, I told you, I just to stay active, I'll walk the perimeter. I fuck around. I walk through the hallways and, pretend zombies are there. I do all that shit to stay awake. And because it's fun. I mean, what the hell else? I can't just sit in the office the whole time because, that's only my job. You know what my job is? Sit in the office the whole time. I can't do that. What the fuck? Who am I supposed to be? Some guy who does the things he's supposed to do? God damn it. No, I think I'm a lot better than that. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm supposed to be in the office. What the fuck? But in the middle of the night, nobody's coming down to visit me. I have to be there to answer the phone, or if anybody wants mail, bullshit, that's fine. And guard the cars. Guard the cars. So, I go and I walk the perimeter and I do a lot of stuff. But on Saturday night, when I work Saturdays, I think I've talked about this on here. I must have. Saturday's different because I don't deliver the papers on Sunday. I just bring them in the building when they come. But there's another task I have to do on Saturday night. I have to, did I talk about it? Oh, I did. All right, never mind. Then there's no point even getting into it.
It's okay.
No, it's fine. I do the garbage on Saturday, and it just sits there, and that's when I sit there and I stare and I go, "Fuck! What has come of my life? What have I done? I have done nothing." So now it's getting worse because now it's freezing, and I'm sitting in there, and I'm just like, "You're outside. You're outside, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? Shouldn't you have a better gig at this point in your life? 44. You're sitting out here shivering, making sure nobody steals a goddamn Corolla. Jesus." By the way, that's my go-to car. I don't even think there's a fucking Corolla in the building. I have no. There's like my Murano and what else is there? There's Lexi. I would say Lexuses and then Lexi. All right. Lexi Bell. I have to guard Lexi Bell at all times. Oh, I should not have said that name. Lexi Bell. That's I've talked about her. Have I mentioned her? That's a porn star. All right. And you know what's so funny is like the more I learn about her, the more I know. I would hate her. I would hate her if I ever talked to her or met her, and she would hate me exactly because I mean like I just look, we would hate each other, and yet our mutual hate and chemistry would bring us together. No, it wouldn't. You know what would bring us together? $500. That's what would bring us together. All right. That would be more than enough time for her face to pretend she likes me and her pussy to pretend that she's into it. So that's fine. I don't even know if I can pull that out for $500. All right, so the fuck. All right, what the fuck? So a few weeks ago, again, it's freezing now, but it was cold then, and I'm sitting in there, and I hear people sneaking around in the parking garage, which I hate because there's a few entrances to the parking garage. Like I have one, and there's the main elevator where I am, but then there's an elevator in the back of the parking garage, and then there's the two gates, and then there's another side door, and so that's why I have to constantly be vigilant to make sure nobody's stealing things. So I'll hear people sneaking around, and I usually there are times people are coming down at certain times, and I know they're going to be there. I know there's a truck that starts every day at 5 a.m. I know it, and it's just you get the cadence of it. Well, at this point, it was like 1:30 in the morning, I think, maybe 2 o'clock, and I heard people shuffling around and like whispering and talking in voices, and I heard doors slamming, so I had to go out and I checked what it was, and it was this girl from up on the second floor who brings me food. And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And what it was she had her friend come in and park, which that drives me nuts. And again, I've just told you that I don't care about this job. I don't want to be a guy who cares about this job because it's not me. That's not what I'm here to do. Yet when I'm there, I try to do a good job. And what I fucking hate is when people they think they can just do what they want and not care. What I hate is when people will let people into the parking garage to park there. And they go, "Oh, well, I know nobody parks there, so my friend's going to park there." No, fuck you. They don't get to park there. It's just, if you want to come to me and say, "Hey, Mike, is it cool if you watch the car?" And as long as they're gone by 6 a.m., I don't give a shit. But, in between 6 and 7, if someone comes down and you're blocking them, you're in the wrong fucking spot, I'm going to hear about it. I don't want that. I'm supposed to be the guy in charge of this bullshit. I'm the king of this parking lot. I don't want to be. I'm a reluctant king. All right? I was the son of the actual king who died, and I inherited the crown, and I'm far too young to have the responsibility of running this fiefdom, whatever the fuck it is. The peasants hate me, the serfs hate me, they all try to get past at me, and I don't even get the benefits of being a king. Like, it's nobody, you know what? Occasionally, someone will bring me a feast. I've talked about that. As the king of that parking lot, occasionally one of my loyal subjects will bring me a feast in the middle of the night. But they'll also bring me a beverage, and I don't have a royal taster, so whoosh, right out into the goddamn parking garage. If I had a royal taster, that feast would go down a lot smoother, let me tell you that. So, as the king of this parking lot, I just come and talk to me. Ask me. You know what? imagine that parking lot is my daughter's wedding. Okay? Every night that parking lot is my daughter's wedding, and that is the time that you can come and ask me for a favor, and I have to grant it. Don't you understand? Because if you don't come and ask me that favor, then eventually fucking Luca Brazzi's going to show up and you are fucked. Don't you get that? If you don't, because again, it's my daughter's wedding. That parking lot is my daughter's wedding. Come to me. Ask me a favor. I have to grant it. I'm cool. I'm good. That's especially the day to do it. But if you don't do it, then eventually Luca Brazzi's come to your house, and then I'm going to fucking jump around my yard spraying tomatoes with orange in my mouth and fucking die. We can't have that, can we? God damn it. Think of what you're doing to me. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so I go out there, and she's got her friend parked in a spot that's not her spot. And now, complicating matters, the car will not start. And she's like, we just, we have to push it out of here. We got to do it we don't know what's wrong with it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And she goes, well, if there was a way we could jump the car or something, we could go ahead and, I think it's just the battery. And the light bulb went off over my head, like, ding. I have jumper cables in my car I have not used in 12 years. I mean, they're perfectly brass and gold, whatever the color is. They look gorgeous. They're black. They're good. They're good cables. That was another thing too. When you're back in the Midwest, when you had to make sure you had the good jumper cables, because everybody had those pieces of shit that were oxidized and had dirt all over them. Mine are fucking immaculate. They've never been used. The only time they've been out of the car is in the 3 seconds it took to take them out of the trunk and put them in the new car. That's it. I've never jumped a car with these. But now, you know what? Here we go. The king is stepping up, and he has the tools to get the job done. So I'm like, you know what? I have jumper cables in my car. Oh, my God. And again, now this dynamic shows up, okay? Not only am I like the guy working there and they live there. There's that weird dynamic. I'm the king and they're my loyal subjects. But I'm a man and they're women. And they have a car and they don't know how to fix it. They don't know anything about it. They just know that it won't start, but they think it's the battery, but they're not sure. And now I'm there and I have a cock, so obviously I know everything about cars. So thank you, my hero. Thankfully, I've ridden in on my white steed, and I will now attach the jumper cables to my white steed's balls and to your car and hop it up with my magical man powers. So she's like, oh my God, you have jumper cables? Oh, it's so great. Can you get them? And we'll go ahead and you can jump the car. It's fantastic. And folks, when it comes to cars, I might as well have a vagina when it comes to fixing cars. As I've mentioned, all of the survival kit bullshit, all of everything has sat in my car. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know how to do it. It's, jumper cables to me, I should just pick them out and hold them in my hand and whip the car and go, yeah, yeah. Whoosh. That's the level of understanding I have of jumper cables. I don't know a fucking thing about cars. So so she pops the hood, and and this is not even a lie. I've had a Murano. Okay, I got a 2006 Murano. I've had it since 2006. I've opened the hood in anger 3 times.
In anger?
3 times. One time because I left my car running for fucking 11 hours at a concert in a literally, that's a long story. I'll tell you another time. You never heard that story? All right, remember where we're at. Those of you who listen to me on Never Not Funny, you know this story.
I
All
have
right.
no idea where we are.
All right, so that's fine. We're right down jumper cables and whatever else we were talking about, folks. And again, text me because this bullshit last week with Carrot Top and Black Friday. I got like 35 emails and texts and Facebook wall posts. Texts, by the way, from people who have my cell number because of when I was on the road. Hey guys, use this judiciously, okay? I'm just giving it to you so we can meet for breakfast. Thumbs. That's a lie. They were being very nice, but it just made me laugh that I looked down. I go, why is Casey sending me a text? Oh, Carrot Top and Black Friday. All right, thanks, Casey. And again, he's having fun. He's just having fun. I don't mind. But it just makes me laugh. I'm like, I give my information. It's my own fault. So those of you who listened to the first year of Never Not Funny, which, by the way, is on sale. I don't know if you're aware of this. If you go to Never Not Funny, if you go to podcast.com, I think you can order year 1 of Never Not Funny, in which I was a cast member. It was when people still wanted to sit in a room and talk to me. When I wasn't forced to go alone. And I was there, and I think there's 59 shows, 59 hours of me, Jimmy Pardo, and Matt Belknap being hilarious. And often some of the stories you've heard on here were on there, and whatever. But this is a story that was on there that I've never told on here that I guess I'll tell now. Oh, Jesus, I'm getting lost. But remember where we're at. So one time, me, Jimmy, and Pat Francis, we went to a concert down in Irvine, California. And there's a Jack FM station, which there is now in every city in fucking America. Well, there was a Jack FM station here, and this was their first ever Jack FM event. And the way they do it is, if you don't know what Jack FM is, it's a radio station where they're like, we play what we want. So they might play Depeche Mode, and then they'll play Foghat, and then they'll play Ella Fitzgerald. Like, they're like, haha, we're like the iPod of radio, except we're corporate bullshit, and we play the things you don't want to hear. So they pretend that they're like an iPod on shuffle, but then in reality, they're playing the same shit that every other radio station plays. They just play it out of sequence. That's all. So, and with a lot more it's your iPod, but if when you listen to your iPod you heard one song and then you heard 45 minutes of commercials for keys on Van Nuys, that's Jack FM. So they put together this concert, and the concert we went to, it was I can't even remember everybody who was there. All I know is Journey was the headliner, and I think Billy Idol was there, and Cheap Trick was there. And then a couple, and then like literally they threw in like a token, like the Whispers, you know what I mean, like Rocksteady. I think they were there. It was, I can't even remember who was there, but we go down, and it's down at Irvine Meadows. So I drove, me, Jimmy, and Pat are there, and I had just bought my Murano. This is in 2006, 2007. So I just had it for a few months, and Mike, and it was the nicest car I've ever owned, and still is to this day. It's got a camera in it, so when you see you're backing up, it's got a built-in GPS. It's got a keyless start. So you can just carry your keys and start the car. You don't need your keys in the ignition to start it, and it's fucking a lot of space. It's just an amazing, cool car, and I really like it. So we get to Irvine, and we hop out of the car. We go in and watch the show, and we actually go backstage. We wind up meeting Journey. I actually go up to Jeff. This is at the time, or this is the incarnation of Journey that had Jeff Scott Soto as the lead singer, and he's there signing autographs. We see Jeff Scott Soto, and we're kind of hanging around. I don't even know how the fuck we got backstage. I think we had passes, or I don't. You know why? All right, because Pat at the time was working for VH1, and he called up to get us on the guest list, and so we wound up going in the back there. There's and by the way, people who know that story, you know that that's not really true, but I can't go into it. But bottom line is we go into the back, and we're hanging around, and there's Jeff Scott Soto. And I walk up to him. Jeff Scott Soto is a guy, a journeyman singer who's been around fucking forever, but at the time he was the lead singer in Journey for about 5 minutes, and just in time to be in Irvine. And we went in the back, and he's there talking to people, and I walked up to him, and I go, Jeff, we're all proud of you. And Pardo and Pat are just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you? You're proud of Jeff Scott Soto? Why? It was just the dumbest thing to say, but it was all I had. And meanwhile, so Jimmy and I are walking around, and we look for Pat. Pat's gone because Pat has his albums. He's trying to get them signed. He's disappeared. We don't know where Pat is because he's gone to get signatures. And so Jimmy and I are just kind of making our way around. I think we grabbed a churro, and then we went out front, and Billy Idol's on stage, and I would not have been surprised if Pat had shown up playing a tambourine. Like, that's how. For some reason, Pat just does that. He and I wound up in UFO's green room once, but he's just that guy who can get it done. So sure enough, he disappears, and then he comes back out and he tells us, he's like, yeah, I was in the back, and he was like in the wings while Billy Idol was on stage. He went in the back. He's getting signatures from like guys in their green rooms and meeting Journey and Cheap Trick. I'm like, whatever the fuck, amazing. So and again, it's a festival show, so there's like fucking 8 bands, and we're there. I mean, it was a great time. It was just cool to hang out with my friends and watch the show. It was really fun. So, we got there at like 1 p.m. So we leave. We go into the parking lot, and we were killing time there, waiting for people to leave. You know how you do that, wait for the place to empty out. We're just talking, having fun, making fun of people, doing what we do. And we leave, and we go into the parking lot, and we get up to my car. And as I approach the Murano, I look inside, and the gauges are all on. Like, the dashboard is lit up, like it's not. And I'm like, that's weird. And as we get closer to the car is running. And I look at my friends and I go, wait a minute. Did someone must have fucking tried to steal the car. That makes no sense. So the doors were locked. Okay. So I had my key fob and I popped them, and we go in, and we get in the car, and the car is running. What happened? I was new to the car. So this had happened before where my keys are in my pocket at all times. They're not in the ignition. So I don't have to turn the ignition off and take my keys. So sometimes I would stop and I would run into a store and I would forget that the car was running because my keys are just on me. I just became lazy and started to, just close the door, and knew that because when you close the door, it automatically locked because, you have the keys on you. I left the car running for 10 hours in the parking lot of Irvine Meadows. And I looked at my friends, and I was like a ghost. My friends are just, they're just like, ha ha ha, they're laughing. But also at the same time, I'm like, guys, we're never going to get home. Like, I thought I fried the engine, had destroyed the car. I mean, it makes no sense. How the fuck can a car run idle? It was started. It was in park. It was started. The engine was started for 10 hours in the parking lot. While I was inside telling Jeff Scott Soto how proud I was of him, I was destroying my new vehicle in the goddamn parking lot simultaneously. So I look at the guys and I go, man, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen here, fellas. I mean, I'm gonna go. Let's go. So they're like, yeah, I don't know either. So I put it in drive and I drove home, and I've never had a problem with the car, never. Oh, bullshit! I should tell you. So we were there, and I popped the hood. That was one of the 3 times I've popped the hood. And I looked at it, and it's like, you popped the hood, and the rush of hot air just got in my face. I'm like, oh, dudes, we are fucked. There's no way this car is going to go. And then I closed the hood, and I prayed. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, God damn it, I can't be stranded down here. That'll be horrible. And I drove, and I've never had a problem. It drove home fine. And it just became fucking fodder for Never Not Funny season 1 when that week when we went to the fucking show. So go and look. I don't know what episode it is, but I'm sure it's episode 41. Mike looks stupid. Which was also, by the way, episodes 11 through 39. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, all right. So that's one of the 3 times I opened my hood in anger. So we're in the parking garage, and they're like, they're like overjoyed. Oh my God, thank God, a man is here and he can save us. And I can't save anything, man. I don't fucking know. So I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. And I pulled my car out from its spot, and I had to go in front of them. But I couldn't because there was a big cement pillar, so I had to go alongside them, but on an angle. And they were really lucky that we were in a spot where I could do that. I thought, because then I pulled my car in, I popped the hood, and I popped their hood, and I got the jumper cables, and I'm holding them. I don't know what to do with them. And it's like, you're supposed to go negative, positive, and all that bullshit. And I might as well be trying to bring Frankenstein to life. I mean, I have no idea how to run this equipment. So they're just looking at me, and they're like, all right, well, you can jump the car. And I'm like, all right. And I kind of took the cables, and I stretched them, and I wasn't close enough. I didn't hook them up to the bolts or whatever the fuck you're supposed to, but I couldn't get my car close enough. I tried. I got as close as I could. But the thing is, there's a finite amount of room with these fucking jumper cables. They don't stretch. It's not like Reed Richards built these fucking cables. I can't just stretch them where I want them to go. They have a certain length, and that's it. So I'm staring at her car, and I'm staring at my car, and I'm staring at the jumper cables, and they're sitting there just waiting for the man to save them. And then finally, the friend, not the girl who lives in the building, the friend goes, well, maybe we should just push the car out, and then you should pull your car out, so then it'll be closer. Yes, absolutely. That's what we should do. So thank God she was there to save the day, because I literally am standing there holding the cables, and you can see the gears turning in my head like a monkey trying to peel a banana. I'm just like, and then by the way, horrible. How horrible is that analogy?
That's awesome.
Monkeys can peel bananas, right? That's what they do. That's their whole thing. They're not confused in the least. Somebody told me monkeys peel bananas from the bottom. They said that monkeys don't use the little, how we use the lever, like the top lever, and we go down? They said monkeys pinch the bottom and boom, like it just opens up like a goddamn calla lily, like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting. You got a banana? We're going to run this test? An online test? I hope you're not looking in the fridge for a banana. If you refrigerate your bananas, I'm leaving. I am storming out of this building. Bananas are a countertop fruit. There's a banana right there on the countertop. All right.
And it has a smiley face on it.
Oh. Has this been in somebody's pants? I don't want to touch this banana.
No.
You sure?
Smiley face on it because it was on his shirt like this, where he had the 3 bananas in the orange.
By the way, when she said it was on her shirt like this, she put it right between her tits. It was on his shirt like this, and she suspended it right there, like it stayed there. She just wedged it between her tits because it was right here. That was another thing I was going to talk about. Remember I was talking about how cold it is? Are you trying to pinch the bottom? Hold on. She's pinching the bottom. Fuck monkeys. This doesn't work. No, it worked. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, you did it. Jesus Christ, that worked great. I was not lied to. My banana source was not lying. The intel I received on bananas and monkeys seems to have worked out, folks. It is completely checked out. Monkey banana intel has checked out. I'll have a bite. Why not? I like bananas. Look, I've been talking. I need potassium right now. It's cold here, folks. I'm not going to eat on the show. I don't do that. That's disgusting. All right, so. But yeah, I now I want to eat that banana. God damn it. You eat it. I'll watch you eat it and enjoy myself. All right, so.
I broke it off.
I saw, yeah. She's eating it with her fingers. She's going a 2-hand operation, which is not good. Come on. Why are you going to cheat me out of that, for Christ's sake? I woke up this morning and I said, oh, fuck, I can do that show. Oh, man, maybe Lily the banana during the show. That'll change everything. Because it's cold, man. Like I said, normally I come here and Lily's wearing like a tank top and a Swiffer. But today, she's got like jeans and socks and shoes and like a shirt and a big-ass coat.
I'm freezing.
Yeah, well, all right. There you go. Work that banana. All right, so. Isn't that awful? How awful is that? Poor women. Women can't enjoy bananas. To you, yeah, but I mean, other women, it's like they, now I'm gonna be in a coffee shop, some girl eats a banana, and I'm just, because I get you a look, and you're just like, yeah, and I'm not that guy. I'm really not that guy. But it's good to know that I was not lied to by my banana person. That's good news, because that worked out quickly. That was bang. All right. What was I talking about before we got interrupted by fruit? Pushing the car out. So speaking of intel that checked out, this woman was correct. I went ahead and I pushed the car, and I did that, by the way. I was like, all right, ladies, you got to steer it, whatever the fuck. I know how to do that. Anything that's brute force, I can do. If you're like, hey, we got to punch this wall till it falls down, done. If there's some sort of weird schematic or measuring or something like that, don't ask me to do anything precise. If I could just start beating the shit out of something until it hits the ground, I'm in. Or pushing a car. Like, I can push a fucking car. So she's like, all right, well, let's do it. So I got behind it and I pushed it. And then the girl from the second floor is trying to help. I'm like, no, I've got this. Because again, my steed is there getting very anxious. And this is again in the middle of the night. I should be out killing zombies or doing whatever the fuck, sitting in the office. But instead, I'm helping people. So I'm pushing the car. Push it back, and she does the U, and then I pull my car out, and we're nose to nose right there. Bingo. Our cars are making out, and I'm like, yes, let's do this. So I pop my hood again because I had to close it, and then her hood is up, but she had left it up when we pushed it back. What do you care? Nobody cares. And look, I need to paint a picture for you folks. I'm wearing a coat. She's wearing pants. All right. That makes it sound like she wasn't wearing a coat, and I wasn't wearing pants. I did not have my pants on, folks. I must tell you. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I take my pants off in the office because I find it works. It keeps me alert. It keeps me awake, especially in the cold. I need my pants to be completely off, and I need my extremities exposed so I can go ahead and stay focused and frosty. So we set up the car, and then I've got the jumper cables, and I look in her engine, and she's got an older car, so it's like a dirty engine. My car is immaculate. I mean, it just, you know why? Because 10 years ago, I burned off any thought of any dirt ever collecting on the engine. The engine's still hot from that night. So it's just, I mean, it's like my engine's immaculate. So I see where my battery is and all that, and then I look in her car. And again, by the way, her car is like a 1995 or whatever. I don't know what the fuck. It was like not a Honda. Not a Datsun. It wasn't a Toyota. It was, who cares? Nobody cares. So it's one of those shitty metallic blue. Again, one of those shit cars you always saw in the 90s that you didn't give a fuck what it was. You didn't know what it was. Literally, it was just everything was the same color and had the same weird shape. Awful. And it's blue, like that shit blue, like cornflower blue almost. Ugh. So sure enough, I look in her and her engine. It would be all right. My engine and her engine. It's like if you had a naked 20-year-old girl on her back, and laying next to her was her mom, naked on her back. You know what I mean? I mean, they both got kind of the same thing under the hood, but there's a lot more wear and tear on one of them. All right. So, I mean, everything in my car is like compartmentalized, and it's in this great spot, and everything looks great, and her engine is just sloppy seconds. I mean, it is awful compared to my engine. I mean, it's just been through the ringer. And so I'm looking at it, and it's dirty, and I kind of see the battery, but I don't know. I'm staring at the battery, and I see the plus and the minus, and I've got a plus and a minus, but you're supposed to attach. I know in my head, I'm like, well, you got to put the minus on, and then the plus on, and then the plus, and then the minus, or is it the plus, and then I'm trying to figure it out, and it becomes painfully obvious to the two of them that I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Nothing. I don't know. I know where to put the clips, and I know then I'll start my car, but I'm trying to figure out the plus minus thing, and she steps up and she goes. The girl from, I don't want to say her name, the girl from the second floor steps up and she goes, Mike? And I go, yeah? She goes, you've never jumped a car before, have you? I said, no, I have. Absolutely, I have. I haven't done this part. And she's like, the part where you put the cables on to jump the car? So wait, you sat in the car and went vroom, vroom? That's what you've done? Really? That's the extent of your jumping a car experience. As you said in the car, and went, wing. That's what you've done? Because guess what? We've all fucking done that from the age of 4, motherfucker. You want me to go up to my house and get a bath towel you can tie around your neck and pretend you're in the Batmobile? Would that be good? I mean, the disgust was palpable between the two of them. They're just like, you have a dick, right? Don't you have a dick? You're supposed to know how to do this shit. I brought you a sandwich, motherfucker. Like, now I'm no longer worth feeding. I'm not even worth talking to at that point. Now she's just going to bring the dog in with contempt. Just like, what are you going to do? Stop me? You're not tough. She goes, honey, here, let me take that. And she takes the cables and she links them up the way they're supposed to be. And she goes, okay, that's fine. You go in and start your car. So I go in and I sit in my car and yay, I vroom. And then she's in her car and then they start it up and it takes the jump. And then we sit there for a few minutes and we let it all, I don't know, they steal my essence I don't know what the hell they do. Whatever jumper cables do, they're transferring any last ounce of manhood I had left in my car or my body went through those brand new jumper cables right into her old beat up piece of shit car. I think I actually heard it laugh. I think I heard her car laugh at me. And so she was all revved up. And then I got out of the car and I'm like, okay, well, I go, all right. And she goes, all right, so I'll just take her out. And I go, good. And she goes, well, you take the cables. And I walk over to the cables. I'm looking at it and I go, well, do we have to turn the car off because it's like electric and I don't want it? And she just goes, oh, and she just like takes all the cables off and hands them to me. She's like, thank you, honey. Thank you for all your help. It's so nice of you. Thank you. I'm like, all right, thank you. I put my cables back in my car. Proud of myself that I had somehow saved the day. These fair maidens. And the two of them, I see, like, literally, they just get in the car and their windows are closed, but I see them looking at each other and, like, with furrowed brows, just like, bah, bah, bah. They start talking. And then they were just like, yeah, it was a fucking chore, wasn't it? Holy shit. And I wandered back to my office, like, smiling. Yay, zombies. Let's go kill zombies, dummy. 44-year-old man. That's 1 4 too many, as far as I'm concerned. I'm 4. I'm 4 years old. Tie a bath towel around my neck, and I'm Batman in the car. Boom. Jumping nothing. I got nothing at all. Fucking horrible. All right. How did I spin into that? What the fuck are we talking about?
We were talking about being in the cold.
Being in the cold. In the house.
Oh, the pilot light for your heater.
The heater!
Yes, that's what I had to go back to.
See, folks, this works. Save your texts. So we turned the heater on in my house. We haven't turned it on forever, but it's freezing now. And I think I talked about this where did I tell you about the fleece? I had a fleece. My wife, she just gives our shit away, like, all the time. Like, I think I've talked about that on here, where it's like, I don't watch DVDs ever. All right, I don't. But I have DVDs that are mine. And so one day I was like looking for them because I was like, I can watch DVDs at my work. And I said, you know what, actually, I'll take a look at that. So I go, hey, where's this DVD? And she's like, what? So where's the DVD for? I think it was Boogie Nights, the extended version. And it was Almost Famous too. And she looked at me and she goes, I gave him to Crystal, who's my niece. And I went, well, why? I thought she meant, like, she took them to Crystal's to watch one time. But the problem is Crystal lives in, like, Idaho. Like, she lives... And I go, what do you mean you gave them to Crystal? She goes, well, when they moved, their cable was taking a while, so I gave her DVDs to take because I knew they'd watch them on the road. I go, so my DVDs from fucking Idaho? Yeah. So, like, that's the kind of shit I'm dealing with. Like, all my stuff just disappears, and I always go, where is it? So sure enough, it's getting cold, and we had a fleece, like an orange fleece, like a blanket that we left in the living room all the time that I would cocoon myself in, and I was like, I was looking for the fleece like 3 weeks ago because that's getting cold. Where's the fleece? Oh, it's down at my niece's house, like a different niece. And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, we weren't really using it, and I knew that they have a horse. And I'm like, is that a horse blanket now? Is that what you're telling me? You brought a fleece? My fleece is now a goddamn horse blanket? She goes, no, it's not, I promise. I go, she goes, I'll get it back. I go, fuck, I don't want it if it's a fucking horse blanket. I'm not going to wrap myself in the fucking essence of Secretariat just to stay fucking warm. The only thing I'm going to do with a horse to stay warm is I'll cut it open and climb in it like a goddamn tauntaun. That's what I'll do. Motherfucker, are you shitting me? You gave more of my stuff away? She's like, I'll get it back. And then she did. Thankfully, she got it back. So the orange fleece is back at the house. But even the orange fleece is being repelled by the unbelievably cold temperatures that we have here. So we've never turned our heat on in the entire time in our house. And finally this year I go, we got to do it. We got to light the pilot light. Because we usually do the New York thing where you just turn your stove on and just open the door and you just heat up your whole house with your stove. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's probably not smart or safe. Yes, but who cares? I don't care. I'd rather stay warm. If I die warm. I've talked about this. If you're intent on killing me, make sure you do it with fire and I pass out. So I don't give a shit. I don't care if I blow the whole goddamn building up if I'm warm for 4 hours. Awesome. But this time we decided to light the pilot light. So we got the heater guys over and they lit the pilot light, and the heater doesn't work in my apartment, which I should not be surprised. We haven't used it in 15 years. All right. I mean, I'm not. It shouldn't be shocking at all that it doesn't work, but sure enough, I was just like, really, honestly, we finally light it, and then so we've been waiting now for 3 weeks for them to come and fix it, and then today they fixed it, and I got up and my apartment was like warm, like hot, and I was like, it was so amazing, and the air was blowing. I just stand because it's at face level, the vent, so I just stand there and let it blow right in my face. I used to do that when I was a kid. I would tell that story. I loved heat. I love heat, and I loved heat and hot air when I was a kid. So in the winter, I would just lay on a heat vent like a cat. I would just put my face over the heat vent and just lay there and let the heat blow in my face the entire time. And my mom would be like, get away from that fucking heat vent. You know, because the entire family's freezing. And I'm there like the 7 Chinese brothers with my mouth wide open, swallowing all of the heat to make my entire body warm. And, my mom would make me, chase me away. But I have a relationship with heat. I've told you about that. No one cares. Fuck. And now, you know, it's funny. I'm doing the show here and I'm staring at, you know what I'm staring at? Half a banana. It's just sitting there on the computer keyboard, like it's, you know, half peeled. Again, we pinched the bottom, we rolled it down. Lily worked part of it, but now the other half of the banana is sitting there, and I'm staring at it. I want to eat it, but I don't want to eat it on the air because, again, disgusting. I don't want you people to sit there and listen to me chomp a fruit. But it's taunting me, it's mocking me. Fuck this. I got to finish that banana.
Did you know the 40-year-old boy is afraid of carpeting?
You're listening to the 40-Year-Old Boy, and coming up, the Jerk-Off Journals. Hide your chickens, they're gonna get choked.
Hey, how flexible are you?
What do you mean?
Well, bendy, because I just signed up for a jerk-off yoga class, and they teach you how to jerk off with your feet. It's awesome.
Like what? Like how?
Well, different positions. Like I learned the sticky ankle.
Are there like girls in your class?
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of choices. They usually just do punch the pink mouth.
Okay.
But you know, I just learned salting the pretzel. Oh my God, is it awesome?
How the hell do you do that?
Well, here, I'll just show you. I just, oh, you know what? The ceiling's too low. Just go to my Facebook page.
These knuckles are always shuffling. The Jerk-Off Journals on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Can the peanut butter be chunky?
Banana. Consumed. I am refueled, folks. I am re-energized. I got a special shot of potassium right in there, and I got a shot of vitamin B. I was going to say vitamin B, but there is a vitamin B. That's not fun. I got a shot of vitamin P, potassium. Is there a vitamin P? I don't know if there is. I know there's a vitamin C. She's a hell of a singer from the year 2000. So it is dumb. It is dumb. I like the word vitamin. Vitamins. You know why? When I was a kid, there was a cereal called King Vitamin, and he was King Vitamin, and he basically was like a knockoff Captain Crunch. That was like a regional delicacy in the Chicago area. But he was, and his, you know, have breakfast with the King Vitamin. You know, maybe that's why I'd be at I'm King of Graveyardville. Maybe I want to be King Vitamin. That's why I should be. I'll seize the mantle of King Vitamin. I think Ray Rayner was King Vitamin. No, that's not true. Ray Rayner's it's more Chicago bullshit. You don't care. Nobody cares. Google Ray Rayner if you want, but you don't have to. He was a children's host he had a Cuddly Dudley, was like a puppet dog that he would talk to, and then he had a duck. I don't know why he had a duck, but he had a duck in his studio called Chelveston the Duck, and he would throw it lettuce, and they would do like these zooming camera angles of Chelveston, like he would dance, and they'd play music, and then a real duck. He had a live duck named Chelveston the Duck, and he would throw lettuce to him, and he would eat. And as a child, I swear to God, I like Ray Rayner. He would give the weather report. He'd talk about Slippery Rock. He would do all sorts of cool stuff, and he would talk to Cuddly Dudley, who was a puppet who lived in a doghouse. Oh, he talked like that. You know what I mean? Like that kind of voice. But I don't give a fuck. Everything that he did on the show, everything at all, it was fine. I enjoyed it. However, if Ray Rayner would have just walked out and said, "Good morning, unleash the Chelveston," and then the duck would have run out and he would have thrown lettuce to it for 3 hours, I would have sat in rapt attention and watched the duck eat lettuce for 3 fucking hours. I can't explain to you the power it held over me as a child. When I would sit there and stare at the screen, maybe because it was a duck and you didn't see ducks very often, but it was a duck and he was running around and he would throw him lettuce and he, if you've ever seen a duck eat lettuce, first of all, if you haven't, Google it. Oh my Christ. Don't do it if you're at work because you will not get anything done the rest of the day. You may even get fired. You know what? If you're at work and you Google a duck eating lettuce and you watch it, you're going to sit at your desk and all of a sudden you're going to look up and all the lights are going to be out and the building's going to be empty. You'll be locked in the building. Like Frank Wally in Target and Career Opportunities. And you're going to fucking get up and see a duck eating lettuce and see Jennifer Connelly on a hobby horse and ignore her and look at the duck eating lettuce. That's what you're going to do. Because it is endlessly fascinating, certainly for me as a child, because they eat it. They have no arms. All right, I don't know if you're aware of that. That made me laugh. Ducks have no arms, folks. I don't know. Hold on. Breaking news. This just in. Hold on. I'm being handed a bulletin. Ducks have no arms. Holy God. Look, folks, you learn something every week on this show, right? We're here to laugh and we're here to learn. I think we did both of them right there in that little 1 minute section. Ducks have no arms. Ha ha ha. Learning, laughing, hand in hand. But not with a duck. He doesn't have any. All right. So it's so they don't have any arms, right? So when you throw them the lettuce, first of all, he's walking around doing his duck thing where they just strut. They do the duck strut, and he's hopping around with feathers and a beak. And look, I don't have to tell you the parts that come standard on a duck, folks. Listen, what's it going to take for me to put you into this duck? All right. It's got 2 flipper steering. It's got a crazy beak. It's got down feathers. Holy God, what's it going to take to put you into this duck? Fuck. So this duck is hopping around and he's throwing it lettuce, and because it has no arms, it just picks the food up with its face. All right. It just dive bombs it, and then it lifts it in the air. And I'm going to give you a sound and oral representation of what it looked like. All right, because you can't see me do it, but literally it's like the duck. He's like, you've seen birds like just they do their neck forward and they're pecking like a woodpecker. Well, look, you may have seen a bird eat something, but if you've never, I don't give a fuck if you've seen a bird eat anything. A swallow eating eating millet is not like a duck eating lettuce, because lettuce is huge. It's like it's not just scooping up little pieces. So the duck, this is what it would do. I can't even. All right, this is going to be my best representation. All right, he would throw at the lettuce and the duck would like bang its head into the lettuce and then turn its head upside down and go like and because it would just flap its beak trying to eat it, and its whole head would move, and it's like its beak would be eating its bill would be flapping, and the lettuce would slowly disappear. That's what it would do, and it would be eating the lettuce and swallowing it, and I'm like, where's the lettuce going? I can't believe the lettuce is going inside of that duck. How is it happening? He doesn't have any teeth. He doesn't have any arms. We all know the parts that come standard on a duck. We covered it seconds ago. As a child, I would stare at it fascinated by Chelveston the duck hopping around in an office. It's like, again, that was also part of it, the duck in a building. Like, duck in a zoo is one thing. He's there. He's a bunch of other ducks. But this duck is literally, he was just like this wild duck they kept chained to the wall. And then it was like, unleash the Chelveston. And he would run out, throw it lettuce, and then it would eat. And they would play like this weird bopping music. And I would stare at that fucking duck as if Jesus himself was on the television making a salad. That's what I was fucking looking at. So there you go. Google that. But that's what a duck, that is the sound of what a duck eating lettuce looks like. He doesn't make that noise, mind you. I mean, it's certainly, and I know because they mic'd the duck. Chelveston had a microphone. But that's who Ray Rayner was. But I don't think he was King Vitamin. But there was a guy on the King Vitamin box who looked like Ray Rayner. And it's funny because he was King Vitamin was like a living dude. Because the Captain Crunch is drawn, and Cocoa Puff, the Crunchberry Beast, all those dudes, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird. So they are fake. Folks, they're fake. I have to tell you. I don't know if you're aware of this. Look, I just told you what a duck is made of. I'm sorry. I'm shattering myths. This is what I do. This week is all about shattering myths. I'm very sorry to let you know that Sonny the Cuckoo Bird and Captain Crunch are not real. They are drawn animated characters. But King Vitamin was like a real dude. But what's funny about that is like now you could never get away with that because fucking, King Vitamin's a pedophile. I mean, seriously. Because he looked really creepy. If you look at the old King Vitamin box, it's an old man with like a huge grin like, ha, how you doing? Take your pants off. Honestly. I've got he's got vitamin D. He's got a big shot of vitamin D for some kid. You don't want to have that happening. And King Vitamin's in a robe. He can hide like 4 kids into that robe. Nobody knows what's going on there. King Vitamin sweeps into town. Kids are disappearing. Everybody's like, well, I guess a child is part of a nutritious breakfast for King Vitamin. the drawing of the nutritious breakfast much different in King Vitamin's house. Certainly, there's toast, orange juice. There's but yeah, you don't want to see the rest of it. Oh, have breakfast with the King Vitamin. All right, so I don't know why I started talking about King Vitamin. Because of bananas. Because bananas are vitamin. That's how I did it. I spun off. See, folks, now we see the root of it. Don't get me started on cereal. I can talk about cereal all day, whether it's King Vitamin or not. I guess technically I wasn't talking about cereal. I was talking about pedophiles. But hand in hand, ducks and pedophiles. Ducks and pedophiles?
Ducks and pedophiles.
No, cereal and pedophiles. Hand in hand. Is that, really? You can write that down? All right. All right. Why not? Doesn't give anything away. Because I'll talk about, oh my God, Kaboom. Let's talk about Kaboom, folks. I think I've mentioned Kaboom on here before, haven't I? Folks, Fat Mike loved cereal. Oh my God, I haven't had cereal in forever, but I want it so bad. Like, I'm in the store for Halloween and they had the monster cereals. They had Frankenberry and Count Chocula and Blueberry, but I don't drink milk anymore. I don't drink, so I can't, and you can't eat dry cereal. Who am I, Hannah? No, I'm not Hannah. You do? You and Hannah both? I was putting Cheerios into I was making a homemade like trail mix. Once I lost weight, I needed something to kind of snack on, so I made a homemade trail mix, like dried fruit and Cheerios and almonds, and made it at my house. But then the problem was I would put it in a can or in a big container. I would eat the entire container the whole day because I would be eating it, just grabbing handfuls of it all day. And it's like, dude, you can't fucking do that. Even now, because again, the weight battle, I haven't weighed in, folks. I'll do it next week. But I'll bring, I go to my work and I'll bring walnuts, raisins, pecans, mixed nuts, and then prunes. I want to have them on hand, but then I'll wind up eating them just reflexively because it's late and I'm hungry and I should be eating a meal at 2 a.m. I don't know, you don't care. Nobody cares. But yeah, so I'm a little worried about this weigh-in. I think it might have gone I'm going to backslide a little bit, Thanksgiving and everything else. The fuck, what's that? Kaboom. Oh, God damn it. I love cereal. That's it. Kaboom is a clown cereal. He's got a clown face and you're eating clown faces. So but it's flavored clown face. Oh, I love crunchy. I love texture. I love cereal. Fuck, I love cereal. God damn it. That's right. You sit right now on your tweakedaudio.com. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should have a cereal podcast talking about old cereals of the past. Oh my God. And then you guys just put your tweakedaudio.com/40 earbuds on and I would just crunch cereals into your ears. Would that be, tell me, would that be relaxing? Would that be something you guys would listen to? Something you'd be interested in? Because I wouldn't eat the banana on the air because there's no texture to that. You can't hear me eating a banana. Literally, it's like, nobody wants to hear me eating a banana. I'm sure you want to hear Lily eating a banana. That's a lot more interesting. The only thing more exciting than seeing Lily eat a banana would be hearing Lily eat a banana if she ate it properly. But for me, eating a banana, chewing it, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear me chewing cereal. So tell me, let me know if we should have some sort of, Kaboom Cast? I can't steal the cereal's name because then I can't call it Kaboom Cast because then I got to just eat Kaboom only. That's it. That podcast holds nothing for anybody. Do I have a bowl of Kaboom and talk through it? That's fucked. We'll figure it out. We'll call it, I like Breakfast Cast, but now there's too many of those probably out there. Cereal Cast, Spoon and Bowl Talk. I don't know.
Spoon and bowl talk.
That makes no sense. Again, off the top of my head. Folks, this is the problem with trying to come up with stuff off the top of your head. It's all lame. If I sat down with like 4 dudes and had a plan and a planning commission, and I thought of exactly what I needed to do to name a podcast about cereal, and then I would eat on it and just make that the plan, then I'm sure we would all come up with it. But off the top of my head, on the fly, that's what you get. You get, milkslurp.com. That's what you get. That's all I can come up with on the goddamn fly. I'm nobody. All right. I had a million things to talk about today, and I unfortunately I did not talk about them. So that's all, folks. That's it. I just leave. But so now I got to try to parcel it out because again, that story literally is from like 3 weeks ago with the jumping the car, but it happened organically, folks. And you know me about and organically. That's how I like my stories, just like I like my bananas, organically. No, don't point at that. That's never getting spoken about, ever. Only one of those stories is worth telling. Carrot Top or Black Friday, only one of them is worth telling. Black Friday's not worth telling. You know what? I'll tell Black Friday. Bullshit. I went once to Black Friday. I went to Best Buy because they had the Arrested Development full DVD series and the Chappelle Show full DVD series. And then they had flash drives, 1 gig flash drives for like $4. So I was like, fuck, I'll do that. So I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, all right, I'll go to Black Friday and I'm just going to, look, I'm only getting 3. I'm not going to get caught in the mob. I'm just going to get 3 things. That's all I'm there for. So I start driving to Best Buy and I knew there was a problem when I'm about 3 miles out and I see helicopters. 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 3 miles out And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I mean, that's not real, right? But sure enough, I turn down the street and I wind up, I'm in Burbank. You know where that the Wendy's and the Best Buy and all that is? So I turn down there and I pull up and it's just this sea of taillights in the parking lot. And I get there at 11:25. Like I figure, well, I'll just, I don't care. Let everybody go in and tear themselves apart for that. I just want to walk in. Nope. I get there at 11:25. I have to park like a mile away. But it was convenient because then I got out of my car and immediately stood in line. The line to get into Best Buy wrapped around the building all the way down the end of the fucking mall and then out the backside again. It's just incredible to get into Best Buy for what? For what? And in my head, I'm just like, well, is it worth saving $30? And I'm like, what the? You're fucking here. And there's literally 2 helicopters up above and there's like reporters doing stand-ups. They're encouraging. I really believe the people who go riot over waffle irons do it because there is a camera present. Otherwise, everybody would just walk in nicely and get a waffle iron and go home. But they're like, well, fuck, I'm supposed to act like an animal, right? Look at all this fucking coverage. They want a scene. So let's give them a fucking scene. Who wants to get elbowed in the mouth over a goddamn curling iron? So, sure enough, I get in line and I'm waiting and they start letting us in and we're progressing. And I will tell you this, I got into Best Buy, folks. And I see the clips online of Walmart and all these other fucking places. They need to take a tip from Best Buy because when I got into the Best Buy, I walked up and we get into the store. And they're like, what are you looking for? And I said, I'm looking for DVDs and flash drives. And they go here. They had turned Best Buy into a choose your own adventure book. Where literally there was like 4 entrances and they would say, where are you going? And they go here. And you would go down, it was all velvet ropes and you would just walk down these circuitous, it was like a maze. It was built like a corn maze and you would wind up, all of a sudden there were your DVDs. You would get them and then you would say, I need flash drives. They'd go here. And then it would just be this, everything was mapped out perfectly. The people behind the Iraq war must have been behind this Best Buy Black Friday. At least the initial surge, all right, because they had everything planned out. I mean, if let's put it this way, if Black Friday had lasted more than 7 years, eventually none of us would have known what the fuck was going on, just like the people over there. But sure enough, we walked in, everything was systematic, and I was finding it. It was hydromatic. It was grease lightning. I got everything that quickly. It was automatic. All right, so I get there, Jesus, idiots. So but it was amazing. There was I don't think anybody even raised their voice. It may have been like church silent in this Best Buy as we all just silently contemplated buying things. And I grabbed my DVDs and I went and grabbed 3 flash drives and I got in line. And certainly the chaos came at the end because getting everything was great. Getting that to check out though, because there were people who were just coming in for one television and then leaving. Even though they had like 17 checkers open, it didn't matter because once you got in line, the line to leave was just as bad as the line to get in. And then I checked out and I left. I never had any problem about it. It looked like it was going to be a terrible, terrible thing when I showed up and there's a million people and gangbangers and fucking helicopters. But it was just crazy smooth. So whenever I see this shit online, I'm always freaked out about those people kicking each other in the mouth over a pair of moccasins. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Stores are open tomorrow too. So that was my Black Friday. There you go. See, it wasn't even worth talking about. The other story is much better. I'll get to that another time. But Jesus Christ, yeah. So there you go. Cross it off. There you go. Let's hear it. Done. Black Friday now removed. Texts erased. But yeah, I had shit to talk about, man. And I was in the mall this weekend. I just all over the place. But jump in a car in a parking garage took precedent. Unfortunately, King Vitamin showed up and forced me to table all that discussion. Look, folks, I had a lot of stuff to tell you about some things that I did this weekend, but unfortunately, a banana leaped into the equation and distracted me and sent me off in another direction. So this show is banana-centric. That's it. And because those other stories had nothing to do with bananas, I can't tell them. I have to tell stories that only have to do with bananas. So, I will tell you this. It is freezing in Los Angeles, as I mentioned. And I told you guys I gotta cop to something here. I asked you guys a month ago, I don't know, to vote on something, and I asked you to vote on because I was going to get waxed. I was going to go to a salon of sorts and get waxed, and like we talked about it, I've covered it ad infinitum. And I asked you guys to vote on whether I should see a man or a woman. And then we voted for a week, and you all voted for a tie. So we had to open it up for a second week, and then you guys all said, man, haha, go see a dude. And And I was like, all right, I mean, it's going to happen. And I was planning on it. I really was. But it's so cold here in Los Angeles, folks. I can't see doing it. All right. It didn't make any sense because it's like, and look, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, it's because you're scared. I'm not scared. I'm not a scared. And I'm not a welcher. I don't go back on my word. I mean, but it just seems like silly to do because it's cold. It's a summer thing. That's a summer thing to do. You got to get waxed in the summer because then the whole aesthetic works properly because then it's summer and you're sleek and you're swimming and everything's good. And that's a lot of S's. So getting it done in the winter just doesn't make any sense. It's like, because look, bears hibernate and grow fur in the winter, right? That's what they do. They don't go in and go, hey, it's fucking winter. I better shave everything off. No, because they're going to freeze their balls off in a cave. And I can't have that. I'm in a cave, folks. As I've mentioned, I'm in a goddamn cave and I need as much. The fleece isn't even helping. So I'm going to take some of my own personal fleece off. I can't do that. So it doesn't make any sense for me to book it. So, I mean, I appreciate your voting and I appreciate you stepping up. I did ask you to vote. But it's like, I will do it. I just tabled it, and that in my head I'm just like, I will do it. Eventually I will do it, but I have to come clean and tell you guys exactly where I'm at. And then I said to myself, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're just scared at this point because you're worried about the pain of it. You're worried about whether you can maintain it afterwards. You don't know how to, because I don't know the first thing about it. I mean, it's not, I think there's some sort of exfoliation I've got to do and I got to get a loofah and all sorts of bullshit. It's like, dude, you know what? I don't want to, my cock is, I don't want to have a pet cock. All right. I just want a cock that's there and it's just plug and play and wash and go. That's what I want my cock to be. I don't need it to be something that's not a Tamagotchi. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking have to feed it or it's going to die. My cock is not a Furby. So I don't want to have to try to maintain it at all times. So it's just like, it just seems like there's a lot to do if I get it waxed because then there's like, I got to exfoliate and I got to use a loofah. Fuck all that. So I just didn't, I was scared. I was scared by that. I don't know exactly what to do. And look, anytime you think when there's a procedure you're going to do, all right, and they're like, all right, the first thing you need to do is take a handful of aspirin before you come in, about an hour before, because it might help with a little of the discomfort. It might. We're not saying it will. And I'm like, oh fuck, what the fuck am I walking into here? Because again, I'm a shaven guy. I'm a shaven guy from way back. And yes, I've nicked the shit out of myself. And yes, I've almost bled out in the bathtub. But you know what? Maybe that's the price to pay. Maybe that's something you have to do for good grooming. So I was ready to pack it in and not do it. But then in my head, I went, that's just foul, dude. You threw a vote to it and you wanted to do it anyway. Because the bottom line is I wanted to do it. It wasn't like it's just a goof. In my head, I was like, I should do that. So I got on the phone this weekend. And I did some web research, and I looked around, and like I said, you guys voted for a guy to do it. So I had already spoken to a guy a few weeks ago, and then wound up canceling the appointment. We've covered all that. So I knew I had him in the back pocket, literally, if I needed to see somebody. But I decided to look around and see if there were other guys that did it. I made some phone calls. I did all that. And it turned out there are not, at least that I can find. Which is weird, because I live in the porn capital of the United States. How is there not another guy stripping junk in this part of town? I don't get it. How are you not doing it? So this one dude cornered the market, and he seemed nice on the phone. He was fine, but it just I don't know. So I wind up calling him, and he was very nice. He answered the phone. Do I give a name? Do I not give a name here? His name's Renee. And I get him on the phone and I go, hey, I need to make an appointment for Monday. And he goes, all right, I have an appointment in the morning or in the afternoon. And I said, I need it as late in the day as possible. And he goes, 4 o'clock? I said, 4 o'clock works. Where are you located again? He goes, we are located in West Hollywood. Do you know where the bar Revolver is? And I think I may have said the wrong name in the other show, but it's Revolver is the name of the bar. And he's like, do you know where Revolver is? And I'm like, no, I don't know where Revolver is. Wait, hold on. Let me get my straight guy going to Gay Town map. Hold on. Let's get that map of places I've never been to and never will go to. All right, it's... and I said, no, I don't. He goes, oh, it's on the corner of Santa Monica by San Vicente. Revolver is the bar. We're above it. Right by Trunks. You know where Trunks is? Well, hold on. You know, that's true. If I don't know where Revolver is, I should know where Trunks is, of course. That's another bar that I should be familiar with. Let me get out my straight guy to a gay map. Yeah, there it is. There's Trunks right there. It's right by the multicolored pushpin that says "You are not here. You will never be here." So I said no, and he goes, "What's up the street from Trunks?" And we are right above Revolver. So, and I said, "Oh, okay." So 4:00, he goes, "Yes." I go, "What's parking like down there?" And he goes, "Oh, it is street parking, plenty of meters." And all right, great, thank you, Renee. I'll see you then. And so I'm committed at that. I'm pot committed. Because I'd already made the appointment once and canceled it. But and he didn't recognize me when we talked. He didn't recognize me because I put a mustache on when I called. So I go yesterday. I get in the car, and that was funny. I was leaving. I told Karen, I go, "Hey, I'm going to be gone tomorrow afternoon," and she's like, "Where are you going?" And I was just going to tell her, but then part of me wanted to not tell her because it would be fucking crazy, like a weird, stupid surprise. Like, I just didn't even want to say it. I just wanted to walk out of the shower and have her go, "What the fuck?" So I was just like, "Oh, you know what? I have to go. I have to meet these guys who booked this room to see about doing a show with them." It's like I like on the fly. I had the worst excuse. Because this weekend, this Thursday, December 8th, I'm doing a show in town at the comedy something. I don't know. Andy Wood books it. It'll be a link on my Facebook page. I'll tell you about it later. But so I made it a point. This is the show I bombed at a couple months ago, and they rescheduled me with the 5-minute light. This is a make good, folks. I have to go back in and try to be okay and funny to prove that I'm still good at this. So I told Karen, though, that I go, "Remember those guys where I screwed up in their room?" I said, "Yeah, I have to have a lunch with them to prove to them that I can do the room." Like I made it them the villains of this story. On the fly, like, again, that thing where I'm just too verbose. I could have just said, "I'm going to lunch." Would have been fine. But instead, I made up a huge story to try to make, the over, like in Silence of the Lambs, and they go, the over elaborations of a bad liar. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what it was. So, sure enough, she's like, "Okay, well," I said, "So I'll go tomorrow." So like Monday night or Sunday night, I'm at work and I'm sitting there, I'm freezing, and I'm going, and then in my head, I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I'm going, "Dude, you can't go. You can't go, man. It's too cold. You can't do that. You're going to strip that, your last lane of protection." So I'm convincing myself, and I'm like, "Well, no, you got it. You just got to do it. You got to do it." So, I had other stuff to do yesterday. Then, that was part of the thing that I was going to tell you about, and I'll tell you later, whatever. But the bottom line was I had to be in West Hollywood by 4:00 for my appointment. So I left, get to town, and, West Hollywood is gay town. That's what it is. It's absolutely, it's like the gayest. It's San Francisco, very light. It's San Francisco light in the loafers. Let's put it that way. It's like literally it's just San Francisco South because it's really, really, really gay. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm driving and I go and I park and I get out and it's this there's Revolver, all right, and it's a bar and it's like I said, it's about 3:45 in the afternoon and still that's flying out of Revolver. It's a bar that's open, all right, and next to it there's a video store and so I got to kill some time because I don't know exactly, I don't want to be up there early because I don't know what's going on. He might have a client, who knows. So I poke myself into the video store and it's they have, and this made me laugh. It wasn't a video like a notebook store, okay, but it was just a regular video store. But they had in the back, it had gay adult, like gay porn in the back. But then it had an aisle that said gay westerns. Like I didn't even know that there was a subgenre of gay, like gay documentaries, gay westerns. I didn't even know that existed, but I guess it does. And stupid me, I wanted to go down and look, but then I'm like, why are you browsing? I felt like an interloper. Like they were going to, like in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, when fucking Donald Sutherland at the end, he makes the noise like, he points. I'm waiting for them to do that to me because I'm like, you don't belong here, sir. So I walk out of the video store, I scurry, and I go around, and I'm looking to go, because he said it's above Revolver, but I can't find a door. So I'm looking around, and I see a door, but it's locked, and it goes into a hairstylist called, I don't know, Scissor Sisters. I don't even know what the fuck it was called. But I go around to the front, and right next door to Revolver, there's a store, and it's called Block Party. And this is the God's truth. I almost took a photo of it. It's called Block Party, and it has a huge rainbow banner underneath it, and it has another banner that says "The Gayest Store on Earth." Now look, I don't know about you, but if I see that banner, challenge accepted. So I go in and I walk into the gayest store on earth, and I'm fully expecting, I'm to fight off guys trying to blow me, I'm gonna walk in, they're just gonna jam a cock right into my mouth when I walk in, or it's like, you have to actually be on all fours and crawl through the store. I don't know what the fuck, or it's just tasteful. So I walked in, and you know what it was, folks? This is what the block party store is. This is what the gayest store on earth, according to them, has. All it is one of those t-shirt shops on Hollywood Boulevard with like tchotchkes and bullshit and pinwheels and nasty t-shirts and fucking, all the coffee mugs with West Hollywood and Boys Town, all that bullshit. That's all. It was a souvenir shop called the gayest store on earth. And the second I walked in, I went, I guarantee gay people do not own this store. I guarantee gay people do not own this store, because it was exactly what a straight person thinks gay people would want. There's just like flowers. Literally, they should have just had the Village People out front. That's how, because that's what straight people think of gay people. Because gay people, you know what gay people are? They're people. They're normal people who just happen to like different things. That's it. And probably a lot more tasteful than you. But when you walk into this fucking store, it looked like a straight man's gay imagination exploded. That's all it was. Dildos like up on the counter, like the stuff that straight guys think gay men want. Poppers like right there out. You know what I mean? Just, oh, Jesus. And so then I walk in, they're like, hey, can we help you? No, that's fine. I just back out slowly. And I'm killing time now, but I got to get upstairs. So I walk around, and I figure I got to go in through the bar. I mean, because he said it's above Revolver. So I go into Revolver. And I walk in, and it's not crowded. There's just groups of people having drinks and normal people. That's all that's in there. Okay. Again, let me, I can't stress that enough. I'm not like, oh my God, look at the gays. I mean, it's just people. That's all it is. So I walk into the bar, and I'm looking around for stairs. And there was one guy sitting alone with a beer, and he immediately gets up and he walks right up to me. And he goes, hey, how's it going? And I go, hey, how you doing? And he's like, I'm Roger. I go, hey, Roger, I'm Mike. I go, I'm looking for the upstairs. And he goes, you're already upstairs, silly. And I went, I don't know what you mean. He goes, you're already upstairs. And I go, no, I have to go, like, there's supposed to be a place upstairs, like with offices. And then the bartender goes, no, you got to go out and go around. And Roger goes, well, is it right around the corner? I'll take you. I'll walk you and show you. And I go, no, Roger, I'm good. I go, thanks, man. Nice to meet you. And he's like, okay. And I look at the bartender and I go, where am I going? He goes, go out and back around by the video store. And I said, oh, okay. So, and Roger's like very nice. And he shook my hand. And Roger seemed interested. Because, I think Roger had a bear thing. I mean, I'm not, because I have like, a hairy chest, and I'm a bear. It's just, I have to say it. I am. I don't want to be, but I just am. Okay. It's just, and here's why I know this, because, I told you this before. There was a guy who, when I was working at the adult bookstore, he kept coming up with bear material, and he's just giving me the eyes, and he's popping his eyebrows. He's like, yeah, check this out, me and you. And there was a thing when we first moved to town, because Karen also was, I met Karen. She was very sheltered. She didn't know a lot about porn and things. So there was there was an ad in the LA Weekly. When we first moved here, we were looking for jobs and stuff, and it was like a 976 bear line. And it was, and she's like, what does a bear? What does a bear mean? And I said, a bear is like a guy, like a big, hairy guy like that dude. I go, it's like a gay thing, guys who have a preference. It's like men like, guys who like blondes, guys who like brunettes, some guys like bears. That's their thing. But the guy in the ad was completely naked and laying down on his chest with a phone to his ear. Because he's like, call me, I'm a bear, that type of thing. And so Karen's just like, she goes, that's just ridiculous. And I said, yeah, I go, phone sex, that's how they do it. And so I made the face with the bear face, where it's like, literally like he's just laying down like, all right, I just made the face for Lily. And Karen could not stop laughing. She's like, oh my God, you look just like that guy. I'm like, I don't really. I go, because he's in amazing fucking shape. I'm just a fat guy who can make that face. And she's like, so now literally this is 12 years later. And she'll go, do it. And I go, what? She goes, do it. Just do it. And I'll just go, I'll make the bear face. And she'll just go, ha ha. She just starts laughing. She thinks the bear face is hysterical. So whenever we talk about bears or anything to do with bears, I'll make the bear face. You're not taking a picture.
Damn it.
Sneaky. Do it one more time, Mike. So So Roger seemed to be interested in that sort of thing. Roger may have called that phone line. I have no idea. But Roger, he was really, and he had like rings on all of his fingers, and he was a little tiny, he was a little short guy. You know what I mean? He was not unattractive. You know, I mean, if I was in business, maybe Roger and I hit it off. We have a beer. Who knows? Maybe I talk to you now. I got ring marks on my cheek, but a little different. So I walk out. And because Revolver had the bar inside, and then they had like a patio where you could drink. So I walked outside. I went around the corner, and I had seen the door for the Scissor Sisters or whatever. But right next to it, there was another door. I don't even know how I fucking walked past it because it was between the video store and then the haircut place. And sure enough, I open it. It's open. So I walk upstairs, and it's this dingy hallway, and I look on the sheet, and it's got there's video production companies, and it's. This seems like a good time to tell this story, which I've never told. There are a lot of buildings in Los Angeles. You'll see them, and they just have storefronts. Like they just have like 8 doors, and you don't know what the fuck they are. You have no idea. Rest assured, they're not good places. All right, there's a lot of them are just they're literally storefront. Remember the old movies when a detective would have like a storefront and his mail would go there, and then he'd go pick it up, like that kind of thing. One time, I got hired when I first moved to town. I was looking for a job. And I was pretty desperate at that point. I was really starting to get desperate finding a gig. And I took an interview to be security for escorts. All right. They weren't escorts at the time. They were massage girls. All right. But it was a security job where I would drive them around. So I had to go interview. And there's this building by my house that we had driven past a few times, but it's just this brick, nondescript beige thing with doors with no signs on them. And that's where it was. The interview was, I went upstairs, I opened it up, and it's literally just a desk and a chair and a man. And then there's a lobby where there were like 3 hot girls and another big guy waiting. So I walked and I sat waiting to be interviewed. And when I went in for the interview, and the guy's like, all right, do you have a problem with sex or nudity? And I said, nope. Wait, mine? And he goes, no, with other people's or anything like that. Like, are you a prude? Does it bother you? And I go, no. And he goes, all right, well, here. He goes, I'm going to tell you flat out. The job is you will take girls to appointments for massages. You will take them to, when they do, sometimes it's in call. So we will have you in a hotel in Hollywood and you will be there with the girl. But sometimes you will have to take the girl to out call appointments. And you have to be in the room the entire time. I said, what? He goes, the girl will be in the room with the client, and you have to be in the room as well. I said, doing what? And he goes, you make sure that you get the money. You make sure nothing happens in the room to the girl. And you're basically your muscle, your presence. You're making sure nothing bad happens. I go, so I have to be in there for the massage? And he goes, and everything else. And I was like, yeah, I think I could do that. Actually, that doesn't sound like a problem to me. Because I'm me, folks. I like Vice, and I'm also I would need a dough. So I'm like, well, this seems like easy money. And he's like, all right. He goes, well, cool. We got your number and your address. We'll keep you on file, and we got some more people to talk to. But yeah, we if you're into it, then we're interested. And I said, great. So I walked out and looked at the girls. I'm like, eventually I'm going to see you jerking guys off. Nice to meet all of you. And I walk out, and I went to lunch that day. I met a bunch of comics for lunch at Shakey's Pizza. And it was Jimmy Dore and Pardo and all the Chicago guys used to get together, Pete Schwaba. And we go there and we're all talking. Everybody's got their own thing going on. And, some people have shows and they're going out of town and they're working. And I had just come from an interview where I was going to be a hand job supervisor. Not exactly what I moved to Los Angeles to do. And at the time, Jimmy and I were real close, and I took Jim aside, and I said, hey, I just had this weird interview, and he says, what is it? And I said, and I explained it all to him, and he looks at me, and he goes, and it's a line that has served me well since. Whenever anything has come up that I don't think I want to do or is beneath me, I think of Jimmy Pardo looking at me at Shakey's Pizza and going, you're not a fucking stooge. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not a fucking stooge. And it was one of those things where, again, that I didn't do it, and within 2 weeks, I wound up getting another gig and making money. So it's happened before, but I was very close. So that's what Revolver is like. It's just this weird, the Revolver the bar, but then upstairs it's all these nondescript doors with nothing on the signs. Downstairs it tells you where you're going. I'm going to Suite 5 because I was looking for Suite 5. So I go upstairs to Suite 5 and I open the door and there's nobody there. There's a desk and a couch and a huge dog. Huge. Like, not a greyhound. I don't even like a mastiff or a Great Dane. Is that what those are? I mean, it's just big and tall, like the long legs, like tall dog. And it's just stretched out on the couch. So guess where I'm not sitting? And I walk in and there's nobody there. And I look around at the desk and I look at the dog because the salon is called, well, I won't tell you the name of the salon, but it's a salon. That's the name. It has the name downstairs. The website is fantastic. It looks like a fancy salon. It's a goddamn storefront with a desk and a dog. That's it. So I walked in and I'm like, oh, and then there's another door that's closed and I can hear people in it. And a guy walks out and he's like, yes, hello. And I go, hi, I'm Mike. And he goes, hey, Mike, are you the 4 o'clock? And I said, yeah. And he's, I can't, I am Renee. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. And I said, all right. And I shook his hand, little guy. And he's like, oh, don't worry about the dog. He goes, she's very nice. She's beautiful, but she will lick you. So if you want to go outside and avoid that, you can. And I go, yes, I do. I did not come here to get licked yet. And, I gobbled. It's funny. I took aspirin because he told me to take aspirin before I left the house. And he's like, you should take for discomfort. And I normally take 3. But I wasn't sure like what to do. Because I was told there was going to be discomfort. It was going to be bad. And everybody who wrote me was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing it. Like they're all freaked out. So I took 3, but I brought the aspirins with me as well, just in case. So I go out, he takes me out to the roof. He had like a rooftop garden and a place to sit. And it was very nice. It was really cool. So I went out, sat there, and I grabbed my phone out and I'm looking, and I was tempted to Twitter it. Like I was going to, take a photo of the place and just go, and talk about it. But I was like, no, I want to talk about it on the show. I didn't want to give it away. So I sat there and I'm flipping and I'm nervous and I'm freaking out. And he's like, all right, I have another appointment in here and we are almost finished. And then I will get you in. And I'm like, great, fantastic. So I'm out there in the rooftop garden and then I see a guy walk out of Renee's room, and really like crazy, good looking, striking guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he, talks to Renee, whatever, they take care of business. Then he leaves. And Renee comes out. He's like, all right, time for you. Let's go. And I walked in and the dog was there. And I go, no, is the dog coming in? That's not happening, right? I mean, it's weird enough you're going to be looking at everything. I don't need the dog fucking staring at me. And he goes, no, she stays outside. That's fine. He goes, unless if you're into it, I will bring her in there. They go, no, Renee, I'm good. I don't even want to sit next to the dog. The last thing I wanted to see is staring at my balls. So he's like, all right, come on in. He's fine. He goes, she's very nice. He goes, and I go, yeah, it's a huge fucking dog. He's like, I like a big dog. He goes, I don't need a poodle or, I see these men all the time. They walk around and they've got the, big men. They're very, because we are in West Hollywood. We're full of gay men, and you see gay men walking and they are so beautiful men and they're so big and muscular. And then they carry a tiny dog, like in a pouch or something. Oh, I hate it. I go, really? He goes, I'm a fag because I like men. I want a man to be a man. I don't want a man to walk up and then he opens his mouth. He's got muscles. He looks great. And he opens his mouth. He has a tiny dog. I'm like, if I wanted a lady, I would find one. And he walks away. I'm like, Renee is the man. So we walk in he takes me through the office, and then there's a door, and we walk in, and we walk into his work shop, and it is. Remember I told you about the bathroom in Milwaukee, the tiny panic bathroom? This is a panic wax room. Like if somehow there were robbers in that building, you would lock yourself in there and get clean balls. That's exactly what it was. It was just so tiny. So I walked in and there's just this huge bed, like a giant bed with like crazy sheets. And then there's a sink, and then there's a table with all of his implements and the shit that he needs. So we walk in. He goes, all right. He goes, get naked. And I said, okay. I go, like, naked? And he goes, well, if you're not naked, Mike, it's going to be very hard to do this.
I love him.
He was so, because I was fucking freaked. I mean, I was still nervous and weird, but he was real nice and he was putting me at ease. But at the same time, it's like, he's cutting my balls off every chance I get where I'm trying to talk to him and he's nailing me. So I go, no, I know that, Renee. I go, but I don't want to have to, I mean, I understand pants and everything, but everything, shirts and the whole thing, you want me fucking, and he goes, no, he goes, you take everything from the bottom off, and then if you pull your shirt up, it should be fine. He goes, but it's not for me. He goes, it's for you. I don't want to get wax on your clothes and on your shirt. And I'm like, well, what kind of procedure is this, Renee? You're going to Jackson Pollock my cock? What's going on? And he laughed. Thankfully, he laughed at that. He's like, no, he goes, it's very, it's in that area, but if it gets on your shirt, it's hard to get off. I said, all right. So I took my jeans off and hung them up on the hook. And then, boxer briefs, shoes, socks, bare ass. And took my overshirt off. I'm just wearing a T-shirt. And he goes, all right, on the table. What's funny?
I just think this is awesome.
Oh, dude. So...
The uncomfortableness on your face right now.
Well, it's just the weird part of telling people. I mean, it's just the actual, it's whatever. So, well... So he's like, all right, go in and lay down. He goes, I've seen everything. I've seen all, but I go, I understand that. I'm not worried about you seeing anything. I go, as far as I'm concerned, you're like Dr. Wax. All right. I go, I've separated myself from that. And he goes, what made you want to do these? And I go, well, I thought about it. I go, honestly, it's a look that I really like on women. And so I've decided that I should, since I like it so much and that's what I'm into, like I should see what it feels like and what it's like from the other side. I said, I've shaved a bunch. I go, but I've never done this. And I think I want to see what it's like. And he goes, so you're straight? And I said, yeah. And he goes, we get, so many. He goes, I think I get more straight people than straight boys than gay boys. I said, really? He goes, well, I do all the porn stars, all of them. I go, really? He goes, yeah, I have a deal with all of the film studios. They send them here and I do them. I go, well, gay porn stars or straight porn stars? He goes, oh, gay, all gay. He goes, but regular clients, straight. I said, really? By the way, this accent that I'm trying to do, Renee's from Mexico. I'm not even close. All right. I don't even, like, I can't do the voice. I'm trying to do it because his voice was affected and there was a lilt in it, but he had a little bit of an accent, but he just sounded elegant and great. And I'm doing it in injustice by trying to do his voice, but I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to do his voice. So he's like, oh yes, more straight boys than anything. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I guess they want. He goes, let's face it. The only reason to be doing this is for kinky sex, things. That's the only reason you want to do it. Nobody comes in and wants to go, hey, I want all of this pain on my cock for no reason. And I said, oh, all right. I go, so yeah. And he goes, yeah. That's your answer. That's a good answer because I said, yeah. He goes, you want to see how the other half lives? I go, well, you do women in here? He goes, no. He goes, oh, just men. I said, okay. So he goes up on the table. He smacks the table. So I climb up on the table, and he's all right. On your back first. So I'm on my back, and he took a weird pillow and he jammed it under my head, and I lay down on the table, and I'm pillow on my head, and he's getting ready, and the door is open. Like, because, when I walked in, the door was closed and I was out in the lobby. Well, now the door is open. I can see the desk. I can see the computer. And more importantly, I can see the dog. And I can also see the front door. So, like, if somebody else just pops in for change, it's like, oh, how you doing, balls? Because, I mean, that's where my feet, the lower part of me is right down there by the entrance. And my head is all the way to the other side of the room. And I said, hey, Renee, we going to shut the door by any chance? And he goes, oh, well, it's locked. Don't worry, on the other side. I go, Renee, are we going to shut the door by any chance? And he goes, you're so shy. All right, I will close the door. So he closes the door. And so it's just us in that room. And he takes it, like, the first thing he does, he starts putting something cold. He sprays it on me, like on my cock, like all around the area down there. I'm sorry, folks, it's graphic, but from the waist down in that area, my whole crotch, he's like spraying stuff, and I go, what is that? Because it was cold, and he goes, oh, it is it's like a not an oil, but it loosens. It gets the skin ready for the wax, so the wax doesn't tear the hair and blah, blah. And I'm like, at that point, I'm not even listening. I'm just like, he's spraying cold stuff on my cock. That's all I care about. So I'm trying to half listen, and he's telling me, and then I go, and because I'm armed with questions, by the way, I've done research about what I'm supposed to be asking. So then I go, do you use hard wax or soft wax? Because I had read that soft wax was the best. And he's like, well, he goes, I use the... and honestly, I don't remember which one he said. But what he said was, I find that this other one, it breaks the hair. And if you're going to break the hair, you might as well just shave. All right. He goes, I need to get it where it pulls it out from the roots, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's what I'm going to do. I said, oh, okay. And he starts. Then he's got like fucking gloves on, and he takes oil, and then he starts. He just goes to town. I mean, it's like it's not even a question. There's not even a, hey, hold on a second, buddy. Hey, brace yourself. Hands coming in. It's just literally two hands dive into my crotch and start fucking rubbing shit all over it. And I'm looking at the ceiling, and I'm trying not to look down at Renee, and I certainly don't want to make eye contact with him because I think we're married then in that part of town. I think that's how that works. But he just starts going to work. And again, in my head, the way I just told myself, he's a doctor. This guy's a fucking doctor. He does this all the time. It's clinical for him. He's got a million dudes in here and a million cocks. What the fuck does he care? Just because, I've never done this. And because you know what? I've been to enough massage parlors where shit like this has almost happened. You know what I mean? It's like where I've been getting a massage and then there's hands and all of a sudden there's a hand close and then something happens and somebody's elbow hits something else. And all of a sudden, my cock shows up and goes, hey, what's going on in this room? So I was kind of prepared for it, but he dove in with both hands and he just started putting this oil on or this stuff, and it could not have been less sexy if he had just hit me in the head with a sledgehammer. I mean, it was totally clinical. There was nothing about it. And I mean, I'm a guy who how do I say this? I don't need a lot of startup time. All right. Does that make any sense? I don't need to, you don't have to pull the lawnmower cord 4 times to mow the lawn for me. All right. I mean, if I'm driving and sitting in a certain position, then guess what? You know what I mean? That's just how it works. I've for some reason, I've still got that 13-year-old in me where it's like inappropriate boners show up all the fucking time. So, but he literally, because he was choking it to death. Like it wasn't, because that's the thing is there's also in the massage parlor, it's kind of like they glide by with their hand and they might scrape it with an elbow. And it's like, hey, they're checking you and to see if you respond. But he just beat it to death. I mean, he just fucking, he wrestled it to the fucking ground. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. And we're talking and he's talking the whole time. And I'm talking where we're having conversation. And, I'm asking him about, the porn star. And cause I'm just trying to talk to fill the air. I mean, I'm weirded out. I got no pants on. I'm as much as I want to think of him as Dr. Wax, it's still a guy who's holding my cock. It's still there. So, and he's very nice and he's talking. And then he turns around and I feel warm. Like I feel like real warmth. And again, as you know, folks, I have a relationship with the heat. So I'm cool with that. So he starts putting this, and this is like on my waist. This is even near my cock. It's like, a little higher up. And he's just putting warm on there and he's talking. And as I'm talking, all of a sudden, he yanks the wax off. He didn't tell me he was going to do it. Because it was just warm. Everything was warm. And then he pressed his hand, and I wasn't even thinking about it because we were talking. There was no. All right, 3, 2, 1. There was none of that. He didn't hold my hand. He didn't look at me and go, all right, you're going to get through this fine. It wasn't, as much as I wanted to think of him as Dr. Wax, he didn't exactly have the bedside manner that a doctor would to talk me through this. I mean, he and I were getting along and things were fine, and I was just nervously chattering about everything in the fucking room. Wow, white paint. Who would paint a room white? Ha ha ha, this is great. How's my cock? I mean, like literally, I'm so weirded out and nervous. And then out of nowhere, he just rips the first piece of tape off. And I'm going to tell you this, and unfortunately it's going to be anticlimactic, and I apologize. It didn't hurt me at all. I am really, really good with pain. All right. I am really good with pain anyway. But when he did it, it was just this abrupt, like it got my attention. It was like skin bracer. It was just like this. Oh, hey, that's happening now. It didn't hurt. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. It just happened. And I was just like, oh fuck. That's it? Really? That's the thing I was fucking worried about? You're kidding me. Fuck. I think I actually took my hands and put them behind my head to ready myself for the vacation that was going to be the stripping of hair from my cock. I thought it was going to be terrible. I was ready to be fucking hated. I was ready to scream and yell. I was ready for the dog to start barking and people to start fire escape, people charging in to save me. And that first one happened and I was like, fuck, nothing. Didn't bother me at all. I was like, God, perfect. And then he just continued. He put hot wax on. He's talking to me, and now I'm completely relaxed because I know it doesn't hurt. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is I was really wigged out about the fact that there was going to be pain, but he's got the tape on and the wax, and he keeps talking, and we're talking, and then we're talking again, and over on another side, he just keeps putting hot wax on. And look, folks, I found out another thing about myself. I am into hot wax. Let me tell you that right now, folks. Because I've long known that I'm into hair pulling and I'm into biting. All right, I'm a hair pulling and a biting guy from way fucking back. But now you add hot wax into the equation. Holy shit, I'm ready for a 70s orgy. What the fuck is with me? All that shit that used to be kinky 30 years ago, turns out I like it a lot.
Oh my
I think I actually bit my hand and pulled my hair while he was putting the hot wax on me. Let's make this fucking happen. So he's heating me up. He's just fucking heating up the crotch and he's ripping it out. Here's what it felt like. All right, and this will sound. He's pulling it. He's pulling it. He's doing my thighs. He gets deep. He's like, and he's doing the top. Like a pubic area. And he's going on the other left leg. And he's just pulling off tape. And we're talking. And then we stopped. This I will tell you this though. He's pulling the tape, and we stopped talking for a while. And he's doing stuff. And there's like a silence in the room, and he's. You just hear the tape. And then all of a sudden, he starts whistling. I can't whistle. Like he's Bashful and Doc on his way to the fucking mines to make Snow White happy. I mean, and I actually said to him, and I go, really, Renee? You're going to whistle? Seriously? And he goes, I can't believe you're saying that. He goes, everybody says that to me. He goes, I talk and we talk, and when it is quiet, I whistle. I just do it to fill the time, fill the air. And it's funny because that's what I was doing when I was talking, was just filling the air. Renee and I are the same. Except I haven't seen his cock. And I haven't held his cock. And I haven't ripped any hair off his cock. But other than that, simpatico. So I'm, and it's funny, I'm shifting and moving, and I'm moving my legs, and he keeps going, I keep like spreading my legs and like moving my leg to the side to get him more access or whatever, and he keeps going, you don't have to move, it's okay, I can get it, it's fine. And I go, no, it's like, I go, you know what, Renee, this is like going to the dentist. I go, like when you go to the dentist, you turn your head, you move your mouth, you open, you smile, you open wider. I'm just trying to do that for you. I'm just trying to make sure it works out. And he goes, oh, don't worry. If I need you to move or spread something, you will do it. That's fine. I will tell you. So he starts working, and I got the hot wax, and I'm actually kind of into it, and I'm digging it, and now I'm feeling comfortable. So I go, I'm actually trying to be funny because he asked me what I do for a living, and I told him about the show. I told him, I said, I do a podcast, and I said, I'm only here because the people who listen to me voted for you. What? What are you saying? And I said, I made an appointment with you a few weeks ago, and I canceled it because things changed. I threw it out to my listeners to vote for a guy or a girl. I go, and they voted for a man, so that's why I'm here. And he goes, oh, tell them I'm so happy. Thank you. He goes, if it wasn't for them, I never would have seen your dick. I said, yeah, that's a good point. Lucky you. Lucky you, Renee. So now I'm getting emboldened by all of this. I'm not hurt. Everything's fine. He and I are getting along. We're hitting it off, and he's moving things around. He's grabbing things, but I'm okay. I'm disassociating myself from the situation. So I said to him, I go, so how does this work? Do I have to sign a headshot for you that you put on the wall before I split? How does that work out? And he goes, yes, of course. He goes, no, you know what? I'll take a picture of your butthole. You can sign that, and we'll put it up on the wall. I'm like, God damn, this guy's even funnier than me. This sucks. This guy's dominating me in the humor department with my cock in his hand. That's why I wasn't at my best, folks. I wasn't at my best. But he was fun. We were talking and he's so up to this point, he's just moving things around. All right, he's moving my cock and balls over and going here, and he's moving this over here. So then he turns around and he grabs a trimmer. And he's like, oh, I have to do the trimmer. And I go, no, dude, no. I go, I don't want, you're supposed to, and he goes, no, it's better for you. It's fine. And I go, no, dude, I want the whole experience. And he goes, no, I would do this for anybody. I'm not taking it easy on you. He goes, trust me. He goes, I will go in and you have to take right around this because now it's about to get sensitive areas. So I will do that. And I went, sensitive areas? And he's like, yeah, your cock. Now we have to do that. And I went, oh, what have you been doing down there? And he's like, well, it's all over. It's fine. You will see. Don't worry. So he takes the trimmer and he buzzes it. And I should tell you this, by the way, I should just hire that guy to trim my balls from now on because I told you I cut the shit out of mine. My balls look like Frankenstein's monster, and he's like sailing over it perfectly. And I go, oh man, I do that, but I've cut myself before. And he's like, oh, that's not good. You don't want to do that. I'm like, yeah, of course I don't want to do that. He had a plastic guard. I go, I don't use the plastic guard. He goes, well, because I'm not going all the way to the skin. That's where you're making a mistake. So I go, all right. So he puts the trimmer down. He goes over and he leans over, and he puts the wax on now. And this time I can really feel the wax because he's been putting the wax all over my crotch up to this point. But now he's putting the wax right at the base of my cock. All right, and he's like putting it on there. And look, this is probably uncomfortable for you because it was uncomfortable for me. Telling you is also weird. He has to have my cock in his hand, so he has to pull it to the side to get and do and work in these areas, and now things are starting to happen a little bit. All right, because when he was throttling it and moving it and shoving it out of the way, it was one thing, but now he's actually got a fistful of it as he's working with, and then add in the element of the hot wax. This would explain why I know how much I like the hot wax, folks. Because he puts that in there and he's got his hand on the other and he's holding it to the side. And I look, I never went full throttle. All right, let's put it that way. I never went full throttle. But certainly there was someone woke up from their afternoon nap and went, hey, what's going on in here? But then just as quickly left. All right. It was not a crazy thing. It was not, so he puts it to the side and he takes and he presses his hand down on the wax and no warning, puts it down. And I'm laying there. Again, I'm relaxed. I'm thinking about my headshots. I'm making jokes. He's whistling. I got my head behind my hand, and he's got my cock to the side. And I'm in my head, I'm concentrating. Don't get a hard on, dude. Don't. And it's fighting against me, but I'm doing my best. I'm using my mental powers to try to fight against my cock. And he's holding it, and then he puts the wax in, and then, and involuntarily I went, oh, that happened. And he laughed and he looks at me and he goes, I told you it's sensitive areas. And I said, yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. And he goes, sensitive areas, very sensitive here. He goes, relax, just relax. And remember how I said it didn't hurt at all? And I was like luxuriously sitting back and leaning back with my head. Yeah, that's because he wasn't doing any of the important parts. Once he gets to like the base of my cock and all the way around there and then starts working in that area, that's where the pain lives. If on your body you're trying to find the address for pain, if mail comes to you and it says it's for pain on your body, I can tell you where the pain lives. So he's working my cock and all around there and he's stripping off the wax and it's like hit, like I'm gritting my teeth and I'm not making noises, but it's like involuntarily my stomach is jumping, that like, that thing. And every time you do that, by the way, your balls jump. I don't know. It's like, I'm being honest with you. That's just physically the way it works. If you suck in your gut, it's like when your doctor does your physical and he has you cough. Well, when you cough, he's holding your balls for a reason. It's not because he's enjoying it. So, he's holding my balls and it's like every time he does the fucking yank, I go, like, so my balls will go up and he's holding them to make sure they don't go up. And so then he starts working, and then he starts working on my balls, and it's like, he puts wax right on there, and he's like, yeah, he goes, all right, now I need you to get involved. And I said, I got news for you, Renee. I have been involved for quite a while. And he laughs, and he's like, no, he goes, I need you to take right now, grab here and stretch it as tight as you can. Because look, that's how balls work. All right, you guys know how balls work, right? Balls are balls, but if you were to grab your balls and stretch them out, you basically got a car bra in your pants. It's like magic skin. It's just like it looks like balls, but then if you grab it and you start stretching it, it's like holy shit. It's Felix the Cat's magic bag. I mean, you can stretch it out and whatever the fuck, and you can cover up. It's like Christo. I think actually that was Christo's first thing he ever did was he stretched his balls across Central Park. Because there's a lot of material down there to work with, folks. I know it from shaving. It's like you got to bat wing the motherfucker out and go to work. So that's what I did is I had to pull it and stretch it, and he gets in there and he's like waxing it, and it's like, and now we're a team, and I'm certainly the weak link because I'm holding it as I go, and I got oil on my hands from like holding it, and I'm like, I go, hold on, dude, I'm slipping. He's like, hold on, and he's like putting the fucking wax, and now he's getting deep. Now he's if the balls are the first, if your cock's your first floor and then the balls are the second floor, he starts working on the basement. And he gets in there and he's like kind of leaned over and he's putting the wax in and he's working it. And he asks me to pull. He goes, you got to grab everything. I said, okay. And he goes, and pull it up as high as you can. Stretch it as tight as you can. And I go, well, just like with the balls, when I had to stretch them out, he goes like, no, grab, cock and balls, everything, and pull it, yank it, because it's like got to be taut so he can get in there and put the wax in and start getting the skin and the hair off. And I said, okay. And so I did it, and I pulled it tight, and he's in there, and he's working, and he's leaned over, and I looked at him, and I go, do you need me to put my legs in the air for this? he goes, I don't want to tell you not to do something you want to do. And I go, man, no. I'm trying to make this easy on you. And he goes, no. He goes, it's funny because it happens all the time. Men will come in and I'm supposed to do it. And they immediately get on all fours and put their ass in the air. And I'm like, that looks like a comfortable position for you. You've been in that before? And they're like, no, I just think that's where you have to do it. And I go, no, I'm fine. Go ahead, lay on your back. If that's natural for you, I don't want to tell you don't want to do it. And I go, no, I don't want my legs in the air, dude. He's like, all right, I am fine. If you are fine, I go, yeah, I'm fine. So he fucking just gets in there and he's going to work. He's fucking and the lower he gets, it's getting closer and closer. And then as he gets lower, it's like, and it's like, and I'm jumping and I'm because these are all the sensitive parts. They say the sensitive parts for last. All right. I mean, it's like if your whole crotch was an orange. He worked on the peel all in the beginning, and I'm like, fuck the peel. That's great. And then when he got to the actual orange part, I was like, oh no, I am fucked. It wasn't super painful, but it's just constant and repetitive, and just when you think it's over, it's not. And they put, because the hot wax, again, I like the hot wax part. Fuck, that's awesome. But then the ripping part is the part you got a problem with. And he just kept ripping, and it didn't hurt per se. You know what it felt like? This is true. It felt like an entire gym class just snapped my crotch with towels over and fucking over. Not painful, but just fucking annoying and enough to sting. Just enough of it. But then the more it kept happening, the more you're kind of like, all right, this is going to end soon, right? Right? This is going to end? It's like I was Private Pile in fucking Full Metal Jacket, and they pinned me in my bunk and just fucking grabbed bars of soap with towels and hit me in the balls over and over with them. So it's just constantly annoying, just ripping. And it's happening, and then he's digging deep. I mean, he's down there in places that I haven't been in months. I mean, he's just going to work, and then he's like, all right, flip over. So I said, all right. And the good thing is I know not to get on my fucking hands and knees, then I get my balls busted. So I go, all right. So I lay on my stomach, and he comes in the back way, and he's like, because he said to me when I said that, he goes, what do you want? I go, I want everything gone. He goes, everything? He goes, well, I can leave it. I can do the strip, or some guys go half. I go, no, dude, I'm here to get it all done. Take it all. And he goes, all right, good. He goes, you know why? Because a lot of guys, straight boys, they come in and they go halfway. He goes, don't go halfway. If you're doing it, do it. He goes, I don't know. If you are here, why wouldn't you do it all the way? He goes, I will do your butthole. I will do everything. Everything will be done. So he flips me over, and he just gets in there, man. And we're talking, and it's so weird. I'm talking to him, and he's telling me about his nice house, and what kind of TV shows do you like? I'm like, dude. And what's funny is he's like, oh, I don't like a lot of TV. And I'm like, if I was you, I would just stare at television to get the image of my ass out of your fucking head. If I was you, that's all I would do I would leave here and I would just watch television shell-shocked like somebody with fucking PTSD. Post-testicle stress disorder. Yeah, folks, that was right. I just made that up. Fuck yeah. But he's fucking staring, and he's doing the thing, and we're talking about TV, and he's like, well, I'm a big fag, I don't like I just like the housewives shows and all. He's telling me this stuff, and again, I'm talking to him about TV, and we're talking normally, but then I don't know why this happened. All right, I don't know why the fuck this happened. He starts talking about all the gay men. He goes, oh, gay men, I'm a big fag. He goes, I like the housewives like everybody else. I go, let me ask you something. I go, do you watch that because you're gay, and you need to have something to talk to with other gay guys, like you want to keep up on it? Or do you genuinely enjoy it? And he goes, no. He goes, we don't have a gay group where we get together and talk about shows. I don't think I would fit in. I fit in because I'm a fag. I don't fit in because I talk about the same shows. And I'm like, all right. What voice am I doing? It's like, I don't know where I'm from. Italy? I don't know. That's him. That's Renee. So I go, all right, I don't know. Because to me, those shows have no appeal. And he goes, I should hate them. And he goes, but I watch the Beverly Hills because I live by them. I actually know two of them. He goes, so I watch the show. And, I grew up in Orange County. I know people like that. They're terrible, terrible. And I go, yeah. And I go, but that's why I can't watch it. He goes, I hate all reality TV, but that show I like. He goes, and I love pageants. And he goes, yes, a fag who loves pageants. And I go, all right. He goes, because I have friends who compete. I had a friend who was Miss Columbia, and I actually flew out, and now I go every year and I help. I just like it. And I go, oh, okay. Are you a bottom or a top? I asked him that because we're having a gay conversation. This guy's fingers into he's got, two fists in my ass, and we're talking about gay stuff. I'm like, all right, well, what the hell? Why don't I fire this off? And I go, are you a bottom or a top, Renee? And he goes, what do you think? I said, well, your dog says you're a top. And he goes, and he laughed. Thankfully, he fucking laughed. And he goes, don't let the dog fool you. I'm a big receiver. So now you know that. And I said, yes, I do. I don't know why I asked him. It just seemed like a thing to ask. And I talked to him, and I'm asking him about people who come in, and he's like, oh, I get people all the time. He goes, you know what? I get older guys who think that I am a whore. They think I am a whore. He goes, I had the guy here, he was like, he's like 60, and I was giving him the wax, and then he says to me, he goes, hey, well, what else could I get if I gave you $50 more? And I said, because he called himself the silver fox when he made the appointment. He said he was a silver fox. And then he said, how much, what more could I get for $50? I said, well, I don't know what kind of a fucking tramp you think I am. $50 that's not going to get it done. So, he's telling me all these stories, and I'm like, oh, the silver fox. And he's like working on my ass, and then he flips me over. And he's like, all right. He goes, almost done. Are you okay? And I go, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just, at this point, it's kind of numb. Everything's working. And I can't see anything. There's no mirror. I'm not looking. And so then he goes, all right. He goes, almost finished. He goes, I have to get the hairs I left. He goes, I have to do, we do the test. He goes, now very sensitive. I go, you did them already. You put wax on them. I stretched them out for you. He goes, yes, but I left a lot of hair on there. And I go, don't. I go, dude, seriously, I'm here to get everything gone. If I find a patch of this, you're done. And he starts laughing. He goes, I always tell people when they come here, he goes, I go home. Whoever you have, boyfriend, girlfriend, go home, sit right on their face. If they find a hair, call me. I will give you $10 for every hair they find. I said, all right, I'll trust you. So he goes in and he starts, again, he grabs my balls in a chokehold and he's fucking working on my cock and balls. And there's no, there's just weird, like pinpricks. And he's moving and there's pinpricks. And I go, what are you doing down there? And he goes, I'm tweezing. I go, why are you tweezing? He goes, you tweezed the testicles. I told you I left hair there. I have to take it off. I go, dude, no, wax. You got to use the wax. That's what takes it off. He goes, no. He goes, you would be in so much pain. He goes, if I put the wax on and then pull the wax off with your balls. He goes, imagine getting hit in the balls, but over and over. He goes, you don't want it. And I'm like, well, dude, I came here to you got to take all the hair off. And he goes, I am. That's what I'm doing. So he fucking dug in there like a tick with tweezers, and like a jeweler's loop in his eye, and pulled every hair off of my balls. Oh my God. The sheer dedication of Renee to even get, I don't care about my balls that much. And granted, I'm paying for the privilege, but he's in there and he's going to work and I'm just laying there looking at the ceiling and, I'm uncomfortable and he's got to be uncomfortable. Even though it's his job, it's still weird. And there's just complete silence. And then I just hear, he just starts whistling a happy tune while he mines in my ball cave. And then he stands up and he like kind of takes some oil and goes crazy with oil, rubs it all over the place, and then he does. He goes, all done. And I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah. So I sit up, and I'd been laying there. It was about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So like I said, I hadn't even touched anything. I hadn't, except for to grab it. But he had a towel over it when I grabbed it. Okay. And then when I spread when I went, spread the balls, there was hair. Like I said, that's the whole point. There was still hair on them. So I didn't want to do this because he's there and I felt weird, but he turns his back to me and I immediately, like both hands, I like reach down and I grab, and it's fucking amazing. It is so crazy. It just, I grabbed it and in my head, I was like, oh my God. Like I almost instinctively put some formula on the stove and then tucked myself into a crib because it is like that. It is so smooth, so crazy smooth. It feels like my cock is on a dinner plate. That's how fucking smooth everything is. And so then I'm even reaching around. He did up around, he did my waist and inside and when I flipped over, I should tell you, he did my lower back too. Like he did all my lower back and And again, ass and inside and all over the place, clean as a fucking whistle. And when he's doing my lower back, I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I have to do it." He goes, "You have a little bit." He goes, "A lot of boys, they have hair on this lower back, so I take it off." I go, "Yeah, but I go, dude, you don't have to do that. It's not in the fucking description." And he goes, "No, I do it for you. Don't worry." He goes, "If I didn't do it, you would look weird. You would look so weird." He goes, "Like just like everything would be like hairy, and then like it would look like you were in a fire." I was like, "Oh, all right." So I let him do my lower back, but then sure enough, I stood up and I'm like, "Oh, I'm holding it." I'm like, it was just, I couldn't. I've talked about this before. Like I'll go on the road and I'll get in the shower, and in a hotel, sometimes they'll have soft water, and soft water just changes the way your whole body feels to the point where you just have to jerk off. Like you have to because it's like you're in the shower and it's like you're like, "Oh well, this is a completely different person. I mean, I'm going to take care of this." But then when you really think about it, it's like I'm going to jerk off this completely different person. It's the weirdest thing of all time. But it's just completely, your hands feel different. It's just, everything feels different. It's like soft water. You're like, "Well, fuck, I have to do this because your whole body changes." Well, that's what it felt like. Like it was like my whole body changed. I was like feeling around and I'm like, "Oh my God," it's like everything. It's like I'm not even joking you. My ass felt like fine china. Like I mean, it's just so smooth. Everything is smooth. It's everything. It's not even like because I've shaved and it's been gone. But I mean, this time it was. You could see my face in it. That's how. I looked down at my balls. You could see my face in them. That's how fucking clean everything is. So I looked at him and I'm like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, go get dressed. We'll take care of it." And so I get my clothes on and he's telling me then to exfoliate and how to use a loofah and he's giving me all that fucking bullshit. And I gotta be honest, I'm not even listening. I go, "Is it okay to get dressed?" And he goes, "Well, you're going to look very funny walking out of here if you don't." I said, "Renee, no." I go, "I have boxer briefs and jeans." I go, "Is it okay to put boxer briefs on and then jeans?" He goes, "Oh, yes." He goes, "He's fine." He goes, You're fine." He goes, "Don't go work out today. You don't want to sweat today. That's fine." He goes, "But," I go, "Well," he goes, "When you take a shower, take a cold shower. Take as cold as you can." I go, "Well, so I'm taking a shower today or not taking a shower? Would it be better if I didn't take a shower? Or I took a cold shower?" He goes, "Oh, no, you take a shower. It's fine." He goes, that's because there's, you have oil. When you exfoliate for the next weeks, you might get bumps, but he's giving me the speech. And I'm like, "All right." And I'm just getting dressed. And he goes out into the other room. He unlocks the door. There's the dog, on the goddamn couch. And I walked out and I go to pay him and I get my wallet out. And I said, "Hey, man, do you have a restroom I can use?" He goes, "Oh, sure. It's right here." And I open the door and he goes, "The light broke though, and it's now it's dark. It's dark outside." And he goes, "The light is broken." So I go, "Well, should I just leave the door open?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's fine." I go, "What? Really?" I go, "You just want me to? I'm just going to take a leak in here with the door open?" And he just goes, "I just had my nose in your asshole." So do you have nothing to that I did not see already? I go, "I'm not worried about you seeing it, but it's different. I'm going to be down taking a piss and you're going to be fucking standing there. It's just rude." And he goes, "I'm fine. It's fine. If you're okay, I'm okay." I go, "All right." And he goes, "Was this okay for you? Is it what you expected?" I go, I guess so. I mean, it wasn't. I go, I can be honest with you. I'd never had any idea of what to expect when I was going to be in a room naked from the waist down and a guy was going to go through a half bottle of oil on me. I had no idea what to expect. But certainly, considering the alternative of what could have happened, I guess it was pleasant. And he laughed. And then I fucking pissed while he worked on his desk. And but the thing is, then I get to the sink and he had no soap. And I was like, "Dude, you don't have any soap." And he's like, "Oh, I'm very sorry." And he goes, I go, "Do you have soap in the other room?" And he's like, "No." And I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well," he goes, "I have soap, but it's only for me." He goes, it's a medical soap. I don't want you to." And I go, "Oh, all right, that's fine." So I paid him. And he told me, he goes, "You can come back in probably in 3 to 4 weeks is when you would need to follow up." And I don't think I'm going to go back in 3 to 4 weeks. I did it once. We'll see. Who knows? And maybe if I do it again, I just start going to different places all over the place and just start do different shows and episodes of the awkwardness of being in. But I'm never going to find somebody as cool as Renee was, right? Are you kidding me? I'm going to make some jokes to some chick where she's got a handful of my dick and she's going to be like, no, I don't think, and just walk out. She storms out. Fuck that. So I go to leave and I avoid the dog. The dog is staring at me and I pay him and Renee's very nice. He's like, all right, come back. I walk outside. And the thing is, I walk outside, there's like 3 people in the hallway and they look at me. They know, like that's the thing is I know what's going on. I now am waxed completely, I'm clean as a whistle front to back. But when I walk out of this spa fucking office space, dingy garage attic, I walk out into the hallway and those people are there and they know exactly. They know too. I know that they know just because they see me walking out of what is purportedly a spa. I'm sure there's talk in the building of what goes on in there because it's all gay porn stars walking in and then walking out. So they see me walk out and of course they assume that I'm a gay porn star because folks, I'm very attractive. And I'm trying to walk and I'm walking and it's slick and it's different. It just feels different. It feels great. It feels fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I made the right decision, but it's just different. So I'm walking. I go walking down the stairs and I walk out and my hands are, I use the restroom upstairs and my hands have oil too from holding things and moving things around. And also when I looked in the mirror, I did a side shot and looked around. So I got to wash my fucking hands. So I go into Revolver, the bar, and I walk in and it's still going, and also I should say it ends like right when I walk up. I start coming around the corner. That ends, and then "Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover" starts playing. You know that song? Damn, I wish I was. And they got huge video screens with fucking all that going on. And when I walk in the bar, there's probably like 5 more people in there. It's not busy at all. It's just a pub where people are drinking. But sure enough, over on the wall, sitting in the corner is Roger. He's still there nursing his beer, whatever. He's on his smartphone looking, and he's got all his. I can see his rings, and it's darker in the bar. And I walk in, and I get my hands are all oily, and I'm looking around, and I go to a bartender and I go, "Hey, where's the? Do you have a restroom? Where's the bathroom?" He goes, "It's downstairs." And I go, "Oh, downstairs. All right." So I walk around. And I should tell you, there's a back room that has like foosball and dart machines. So I go back there and there's nobody in it. There's nobody in the back room. So I look and I'm still looking for stairs. And I come back around and I see Roger. He's at the bar now. He's no longer sitting at his seat. So I look over and I see Roger at the bar. And then I look to my left and there's the stairs. So fuck. When I had asked about being upstairs earlier and he's like, "You're already upstairs, silly." Well, he meant because there's a downstairs. So I walk down the stairs. And I walk in, and the downstairs is a bathroom with no doors. Like it's just got urinals, and it's a wide open like bathroom. But there's a female restroom with a door, and then there's a unisex restroom with a door. So I go over to the sink and I fucking pump the soap and I'm wash my hands and stuff. And then a guy, the bartender, comes downstairs into the bathroom, and he's got his smartphone, and I'm holding my hands up, and I'm looking, and I've washed my hands, and I look at him, and there's no towels. I can't find any towels anywhere. So I walk around. There's like an island, a weird bathroom island, and I'm by the sinks. And as I walk around, I come back around, and I look, and my hands are dripping wet, and there's the guy from the bartender, and I'm holding my hands out, and he goes, "There's an air dryer on the other side." So then I go back around the other side, and there's Roger. And so I put my hands under the hairdryer and I'm drying my hands. And he doesn't say anything to me. He's just there like washing his hands with his rings on. And I go to dry my hands. And I don't know why I did this. This is all right, because I could have just left. I could have just ran. You know what I mean? Like because I knew what was going on. All right. You know what I mean? I knew. Because there's nobody else there. I mean, the bartender splits. Now it's just me and Roger downstairs. And I'm like, so I could have just left. Like I could have, but the thing was the bartender was over there and he had there were 2 other guys by the foot of the stairs and I didn't want to go, "Excuse me," and they were busy. So all I did, I walked over and I went into the bathroom part with the door, the unisex bathroom, and I closed the door. So I went in there and I closed the door because my hands are, and I closed it and I'm in there and the door is opaque glass. And as I'm in the bathroom, I look and I kind of lean over to the side and Roger walks up to the door and he just stands there outside the glass. And he's standing there. I'm in the bathroom and I just looked at the toilet and I sit down. I sit down on the toilet to pretend, that I'm in there and I'm doing business. And he's literally like the Shape. He's like Michael Myers. He's like the fucking Shape in Halloween. He's literally just standing there with his arms at his sides. He's not talking. He doesn't knock. He doesn't say anything. He's just standing outside of the opaque glass. His image is just seen through the door. And I'm in there sitting on the toilet and I'm looking at him and I'm just not saying anything. He's not saying anything. And, I'm hiding. That's what I'm doing is I'm hiding and I've been found. He found me, but he's not trying the doorknob. He's not, I'm waiting for him to do it. I'm looking for a hanger. I'm like Jamie Lee Curtis on the floor of the closet. I'm waiting to get a hanger to stab him in the eye. If he fucking comes in, fuck the Shape. This is not happening. But all I can see is I see like the shape of him outside of the opaque window and his rings on his hand and he's just standing there. I assume waiting to be invited in. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm in there and I'm sitting down in the toilet and it fucking dawns on me. The hunter has become the hunted. Because when I was in my friend's Chuck's house, I was the one hiding in the shower and someone else, the mom, was sitting on the toilet. So now I'm sitting on the toilet praying not to be found again by this guy who's just, I see him. He sees me. We know he's in there. And let me tell you, he's not interested in getting a ham sandwich and leaving. Maybe he's interested in getting a ham sandwich, but certainly not leaving. So I'm sitting there and I don't know what to do. And I actually have my phone like in my head. I'm like, what am I going to do? Call the bar? Like I'm trying to figure out how again, I could have just left. Stupid. But I sat in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes just surfing my phone, just sitting there, not moving, not doing anything. And he stood there, out there. He stood outside the window the entire time. And finally, he just walked off. And it was just like coming out of George's shower, man. I waited, and I opened the door, and I peeked out. And I slipped my way through. And I got to the stairs, and I ran. I ran up the stairs, and I kind of like jogged out, like out of the... I just jogged out, and I got out to the street. And I was like, ugh, safe. I almost had to duck into the gayest store on earth and buy a T-shirt as a diversion. Walked out, got in my car, and fucking split. And what's funny is I thought to myself, I actually had this thought. I'm like, you know what? I should just show him my cock. And here's why. Because obviously he's into bears. So when he sees that this bear is bear, problem solved. Roger takes a powder and looks for a different dude. Because once I whip out the Ken doll, he's going to be like, whoa, not interested. What happened to all why doesn't the top match the bottom? Why doesn't the carpet match the drapes? Your carpet is gone. Exactly. And he would have just sashayed off, been disappointed, spun his rings and bailed. Should have done it. Should have just pulled out my cock like a glorious bat signal. Ha ha! This is not the droid you're looking for. Pulled him up and walked out of there. Head and cock held up proudly. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can follow me at Facebook.com. Don't even be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow our friend Lily Von Stupp. She's the producer of this show at Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp or Twitter.com/MNTs. You can be your friend at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. And if you want to write her a personal note and find out just what techniques she uses to eat a banana, now that she's got the monkey pinch in her repertoire, you can go ahead and write her at lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40-year-old boy. Spoil his stuff.
I want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. 10 o'clock p.m. is showtime for that show. Producer of that show also produces this show. Her name is Lily Von Stupp, and she is sitting right here, right now, with her hand in her shirt. What are you doing? Hold on. Yeah, you are. Jeez Louise. All right, so hi. Good to see you. And last week's show was a theme show. It was the Hitchhiker's Guide to Burlesque, right?
Yeah, and Eddie's birthday, and it was amazing.
And it was a lot of fun.
It was.
And you were there, and there were dolphins.
We
And
had naked dolphins running around, mostly naked dolphins running around on the stage. It was fantastic.
Cool. And then you did you perform or you did a sketch, right?
I was Zaphod Beeblebrox with 2 heads and 3 arms, and I worked the door and did some bits in the show, and it was pretty funny.
Cool. Now this coming week is also Monday night at 10 o'clock, 3 clubs, Santa Monica and Vine. Is it a theme show?
No more themes through the end of the month.
And this is a big show though because it was local people. Anybody from out of town?
2 Monday Night Teas debuts.
All right.
But more importantly, the Lost Muppet Act.
Oh, the act that was supposed to be at the Muppet Show.
Couldn't do it. Will be performing their Bert and Ernie Rubber Ducky number.
Oh, you're the one.
I'm hoping.
You always make bath time fun.
2 lesbians playing 2 gay guys. I love it.
Oh, that's what the Monday Night Tease is all about. That should be on every flyer.
2 lesbians.
2 lesbians playing 2 gay guys. That's it. That's the theme of your show. So remember to go to the 3 clubs, Santa Monica and Vine, the Monday Night Tease, the longest running burlesque show in Los Angeles. And remember, if you go there and say you are from the 40-year-old boy, and you listen to the show, and you can grab Lily's ass, you'll get in free. So that works out perfectly. Again, remember, I'm on Facebook, folks. You guys can be my friend at facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. Plenty of pages there to bring me to people's towns. There's a Toronto page. There's a Bring Mike to Detroit page. There's a Bring Mike to New Orleans page, which has just been started. A San Antonio page is in the works, I've been told. All sorts of cities, all sorts of pages, people signing up and trying to get me to come to their towns, and I appreciate it. But right now, what I'm concentrating most on are the cities that were financed through Kickstarter, funded through the Kickstarter page, which ended Sunday, and I wound up killing what the amount that I asked for. Thank you so much, everybody. I can't thank you enough for donating to the show, to the fund to bring me to the East Coast. Now I have to book Boston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Cleveland coming up. And I'm actually working on another thing too, but I'm waiting to hear back. We'll see. But right now, concentrating on the East Coast, I'm concentrating on Boston. What's funny?
I can't stop staring at your balls.
Yeah, well,
Even though they're covered. I'm sorry.
I got jeans on. That's fine. Just make sure. Let's clarify that. I mean, theater of the mind goes one way, but you can't stop staring at my balls. It's you just because
Your
they're
ball area.
yeah, it's smooth. It's all.
I'm
It's
wondering if there's extra room because the hair's out.
oh no, there's no extra room. Trust me. In these pants there are because these pants are too big for me. Unfortunately, my jeans are all falling off. That's okay. So remember, folks, that all these pages exist, and I'll be booking Boston, Washington, D.C., Cleveland, and Atlanta. And I need to address you right now. If you gave to Kickstarter, you have not heard from me. All right. I have not answered people. I have not sent out a preliminary note to telling people thank you or anything except for through Facebook. I will be contacting you very soon. I've had some computer issues that I was going to get into this week, but King Vitamin showed up. So I'll get into it next week about what happened. But as I will tell you right now, I will get to you and we will start getting the rewards cranked up. Everything is in motion now. The Kickstarter stuff is happening. I've been funded. I haven't gotten the dough yet, but they don't give it to you for like 2 weeks or something. But that's okay. I'm excited, and I'm going to start calling Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. If you have ideas for venues, if you know of places, send them to me via facebook.com/the40-year-old boy or at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Any ideas you might have, I'm interested in, and I will call. You don't have to call. You don't have to do the legwork. If you just know phone numbers or even websites, web link addresses, send me to them, and I will go ahead and contact them and get everything squared away. And I will go ahead and book these shows. I'm excited to do it. I can't wait. I'm very, very excited. I wish I was doing them now. I wish Kickstarter being funded just meant that the shows were on. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Now I have to do the real legwork and try to find the shows, which is fine. I'm excited to do it. And we'll start filling the rewards and getting things out, pulling CDs. And I got to get phone numbers from people. I've set up I'll just tell you this right now. Why not? I have an email that is exclusively for the Kickstarter. All right. And it is 40yobmike@gmail.com. So it's a 40-year-old, basically 40yobmike@gmail.com. And if you have any Kickstarter inquiries or anything, send them to me at that Gmail address, and I will answer you. I'll answer you if you get it to Mike at Mike Schmidt or Facebook. I'll answer you anywhere. But right now, specifically, I will be handling most of the Kickstarter stuff through 40yobmike@gmail.com or through Kickstarter itself. I've been told, Lily says that she thinks that I can access all of you guys through there. But again, I don't have a computer, and I'll get into that next week. But once I do, I will be able to access you guys. So if you guys want to sign up for those pages to bring me to your town, that's great. Remember that I'm coming to these other towns. That's fantastic. Hey, I have a show this week in Hollywood on Thursday night at the Comedy Palace. If you go to comedypalacela.com, you'll get the address. It's on Hillhurst. I think the show's at 9 o'clock. This is the show I tanked a few months ago, so let's hope I can go in and do well, and the community of stand-ups will not hate me. But that's this Thursday night, December 8th, I believe it is. And go in and check it out. I'll be there. I don't know who else is there, but if you go to comedypalacela.com, and I'll have a link on my Facebook page as well. If you go there, you'll be able to see who's coming and working and finding out who's funny. And everybody's funny. Go and check it out. Remember to go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. There is the Joe Business page, and there's the link to the Zazzle store. We sold a Zazzle Panda mug just today. There's mugs and mouse pads available through Zazzle. People are asking me if there's going to be a calendar for 2012. I don't know just yet. I'm not sure if there's going to be. I would say no, but I got to talk to Mex because he has to do all the artwork for Kickstarter and all the T-shirts for Kickstarter. There's a lot of stuff on his plate. So, that guy has a real life, and I can't be, constantly tugging at his electronic search sleeve and making him do slurch sleeve. Jesus Christ. I've been talking a long time, folks. So I don't know right now, but right now there's mugs and mouse pads available at Zazzle.com. The link is on the Joe Business page of MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Remember that there's the links to tweakedaudio.com/40 for autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds and cock ring watches. I might grab one of those cock ring watches myself just to see what it looks like now in its weird new natural habitat. And also remember the year 1, year 2, and year 3 download sets are always on sale there as well. You can get them individually or buy them together in the Lord of the Schmidt set. Go ahead and do that. That would be fantastic. And if you want to donate to the show right now, because Kickstarter is finished, you want to just donate right to the show. Well, all right, look, I'll tell you this real fast. I also have shirts available. I have one 2X from Milwaukee. And then I have some Chicago shirts, some Denver shirts, and some Minneapolis shirts. If you want to donate to the show and then you want a shirt, just shirts are $25. A donation of $25 or more to the show automatically qualifies you for a shirt. If I have the size and the style that you want, go ahead and write me a note. If you donate to the show, go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Upper left-hand corner of every page, there's a little Schmitty icon that says donate. Click on it. You can donate to the show, and then you have to send me a follow-up email to MikeSchmidtComedy.com with your shipping address if you want a shirt, or just send me a note just saying, hey, I donated, whatever you want to do. But if you do donate and you want a shirt, email me. And if you donate and you don't want a shirt, or if you just want me to mention your name on the show, I will do that. People like Sergio Sardo, who did not say to say his whole name, but I did. Sergio Sardo, this was his second donation to the show, and this was him buying a Denver shirt. Actually, he wanted a Denver shirt. Our friend Alex R. Alex R. bought 2 Minneapolis shirts. Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that. And I met Alex at the actual show in Minneapolis. Sam Buck, who I also met in Minneapolis. Sam Buck also donated to the show. Thank you so much, Sam Buck, Sergio Sardo, and Alex R. And David D. bought a Minneapolis shirt. I don't know if David wants me to say his full name or not. I never remember. I make these notations, and then I bring a sheet of paper, and I'm foolish because it should be on here. Everybody, it says say full name, but I don't have any full names here. Whatever the fuck, who cares? So David D., Sergio Sardo, Alex R., Sam Buck, and our friend Todd Rush donated to the show. This was Todd buying all 3 Chicago shirts and a Minneapolis shirt. This was Todd's 12th donation to the show. So, Todd, I can't thank you enough for donating to the show. Thank you so much. Todd Rush, David D. bought a Minneapolis shirt. Sam Buck, Alex R. bought 2 Minneapolis shirts. And Sergio Sardo, his second donation, bought a Denver shirt. Thank you all very much. And if you guys want to donate, like I said, go to the MikeSchmidtComedy.com webpage. If you want a shirt, send me a follow-up email telling me a size and a style. And if I've got it, it's yours. I'm happy to ship it to you. And that's you donate $25. International shipping rates apply. As I just found out, as I just spent I think I told you I had to send a shirt to Germany, and then I sent shirts to Canada, and did not realize that Canada was extra. So, and I got to fill out a customs form. I got to fill out a whole bunch of bullshit. God damn it, Canada! Why do you like me so much? That sounds stupid. Remember that again. The Reddit page exists at. I think it's Reddit. I don't know. There's a 40-year-old boy Reddit page. If you go to Reddit and search the 40-year-old boy, don't mock. I should be doing this. It's just the commuter went down. There's a million different things, but you guys keep it alive. That would be great, and I will show up. I swear to God, at the Reddit page. I will eventually post there once I learn what to do on the internet. And also, don't forget that there is the live listening party /chat, real-time chat of the show every Thursday night at 6:00 p.m. Pacific. That's right. They changed the time. I think that's a permanent change. I don't know if they did it last week just because it was a 3-hour fucking show. And if that's the case, they'll do it again this week. I think we went long. But remember, you can go to Mikepedia.com. That's Mike-A-Pedia.com. And that's at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday night, and which means 8:00 Central, 9:00 in the East, and 4:00 p.m. in Hawaii. I have no idea what time it is in Canada because, again, like we said, they don't have clocks. But you can go for the live reels. Actually, half the people in the chat room are from Canada most of the time. So go there to Wikipedia.com and listen to the show and real-time chat about it. That would be great. I showed up last week. And were you there last week? Did you show up? My friend Lily Von Stupp showed up last week. I also showed up. And I guess my friend Dave Hernandez, who does all of the artwork, showed up. And actually, I wrote on my Facebook page, I go, Dave doesn't even like talking to his friends. So I can't believe he showed up there. That was like ridiculous. But it just goes to show, folks, anything can happen at Wikipedia.com. So stupid. And this Tuesday record is almost is officially over. I got to go eat. I got to go eat something. Dude, I went last week. Yeah, look, we all know here's the thing. I'm a food guy. I love food. I'm a fat dude, but I can't eat too much, so I'm trying to lose weight. But I also love food trucks. I love the idea of chasing the food truck. And last week, my highbrow, highfalutin culinary sensibilities smashed headlong into my food truck fetish. And there's a truck called the Ludo truck. Okay. Chef Ludo Lefay is an amazing chef. I've seen him on Top Chef. He's been on television a million times. So he actually has a show on Sundance called Ludo Bites America. Well, he does this thing where he opens up these pop-up restaurants, and he'll have a restaurant in a location for a month. And then he'll close it down, and he'll open it again in another month with a whole new menu, a whole new staff. It's a challenge. He does a pop-up restaurant. Well, he also has a food truck called the Ludo truck, the Big Red Cock is what they call it, because it's got a chicken on the side. And he serves the best fried chicken ever. I mean, you'll ever eat. It's like chicken Provençal with like rosemary and herbs, and he uses the thighs, so it's dark meat and it's juicy. It's so good. And you can get 2 pieces with slaw for just like $8, I think. But it's big pieces. God damn it, it's fantastic. So I follow him on Twitter. And he's also very big on the foie gras movement. He's like, you know what? Because they're trying to ban foie gras like they did in Illinois. They're trying to ban it in California. And chefs hate that. They're like, come on, we should be able to use foie gras because who cares about ducks? And you know what I say to all you chefs? Watch a duck eat lettuce. You want to take a goose and sit him down and jam a bunch of shit into his maw to make his liver huge so you can chop it up and serve it to me on a sandwich? That's fine. I'm excited about that. However, if you ever had seen Shelveston the duck eat lettuce, you would think 2 or 3 times about reversing the ban on foie gras. All right? You want that guy to live. But that said, foie gras is fucking delicious. So the Ludo truck, like I said, usually he has just the chicken and all that. We chase him down. But he put on an event. He said, I'm doing foie gras on the truck. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking joking. That makes no sense at all. So of course I had to go. We went. So Karen and I went to the food truck that had foie gras. And I actually Twittered from it because I'm just like, I don't know if, and I said, I'm in line to get foie gras off of a truck. I don't know if I'm the poorest rich guy or the richest poor guy in the world. And, but it doesn't matter because I waited, and there were millions of people out there. There was TV crews, like CNN was out there and they're filming. And I'm just looking around going, aren't there bad things happening in the world that you're here filming us standing in line to get a fucking sandwich? And again, it all seems ludicrous. It all seems so silly and dumb until you get to the front and you place your order and then they hand it to you. And he had foie gras and corn soup, foie gras beignets, and foie gras sandwich with crispy chicken skin on it. And with a creamy, like a celeriac slaw. Oh, my God. So I grabbed it, and it's in to-go containers. And I look at Karen, and I go, I think we should eat the foie gras in the car, but we'll take the chicken home. So we sat in the car, and I'm sitting in the car in Hollywood eating foie gras out of a plastic, like a cardboard tin. And it was the fucking greatest moment ever. I mean, it was this little, and again, the sandwich was like $15 and the beignet was $8. It was one beignet and one like tiny like heel of bread with foie gras in it, but it didn't matter. It was fucking glorious. And I'm just eating it. I'm looking around. I'm just going, this is America. This is my life. This is life. This is how you should live your life, for fuck's sake. I mean, everything's spiraling out of control, and I'm sad all the time, and I'm fucking predisposed to being fucking, crying and whatever the fuck. But now, sitting in a car with the heat, 90-degree heat just blowing on me, eating foie gras out of a fucking cardboard tin, Jesus Christ, that's living, folks. And 2 days later, I got my ass in the air getting my balls waxed. Oh my God, this is the greatest nation on earth. Occupy people are getting rousted, tents are being thrown away, and people are pissing on laptops, and the cops are eating their pizza. But you know what, folks? As long as you can get foie gras out of a moving vehicle, and then 2 days later go get your balls waxed by a guy while a Great Dane stands guard at the door, then you've got nothing to complain about in this great land of ours. That's right, amber waves of fucking grain while my balls are getting tweezed by a guy I just met. That's right.
I am just stupid enough to think that when people listen to me and they listen to the show, they should take my honesty and go, oh, wow, how refreshing his unvarnished honesty is. And the fact that he's willing to have a scorched earth policy and have no friends or no fucking future is so refreshing and great. But then they'll say to me, hey, do you need somebody raped for the steak? I go, yes, I do. Done. They'll take care of it for me. Thanks, Snake Rape. Oh, no one listens to show, bro? Wonder why? Wonder why no one listens to show, bro? I don't want to listen to show, bro. Please. Snake Rape, do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!